Hello, hello, hello. Can you all hear me out there in TV land? Listen, Linda, you are number one. Number one in here, girlfriend. Has anybody else ever seen that video where the little boy said, "Listen, Linda, listen, listen." I think that's one of the cutest videos I've ever seen in my life, girlfriend. I'm glad you brought that back to mind. God bless. Hey, West Virginia. How you, girlfriend? You are number two in here tonight. All right. Prayers from PG and family. Prayers to you, PG's little girl. All right. Oh, prayers for summer. What happened? There it is. Prayers for Summer Moon, Utah Wells. Amen. Prayers for all of you. Oh, that's so sweet. Summer. Hey, C, number three. That rhymed. C is number three. Hey, girl, good to see you tonight. God bless and much love. PG, hope you are well. Prayers for summer. Oh, girl, I tell you, feeling a little bit better. Feeling a little better. Thank God. I hope you guys are doing good too. God bless. Let's get down through here. Oh, SUMMER. Summer. Amen. PG, hello. Linda, hello. Good to see you. Good to see you. We got two Lindas in here tonight. Two Lindas. I was just talking to the other Linda about the video with the little boy that was saying, "Listen, Linda, listen, listen." She told him don't be getting in grandma's cabinets. Lisa, how you doing, sweetie? Good to see you. Australia, how are you tonight, love? Good to see you, girlfriend. Oh, so sweet. Carrie, hey, hey, beautiful PG Mods chat. Good to see you all. Much love. Love and prayers for summer. Purple hearts and prayers. God bless. Let me go down through here. Georgia Wild Child, there you are. I'm moving to the bottom, you guys. I gotta say all my howdy doodies before we get started. Miss Mama of three. There's Carrie Hall. How you doing, sweetie? And who else is in here tonight? I'm trying. Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful, you guys. No summer, no peace. Amen. Absolutely. Hey, Teddy. Auntie Sherry. Raised in the boondocks. Good to see you, girlfriend. Oh, that is beautiful. Just this first beautiful summer. Amen. Absolutely. No summer, no peace. Carrie, that is beautiful. Beautiful. I'm sure it took time to make as well. Aw, Karen said, Mama 3. Much love. Uh, yeah. Hey, Hazel Eyes, how you doing? Absolutely. Absolutely, Miss Justice. That would be so appreciated. God bless. Oh, Sherry, you're a sweetheart. Hey, Patty Allen, Patty Ponytail. Patty Ponytail, I'm sorry I called you somebody else's name. Good to see you. Patty Allen wouldn't be thinking about me. I don't know. Hey, Michelle, how you doing, sweetie? Hey, PG. Hey, hey, hey to you. Lori, how you doing? Pink Butterfly. Hey, y'all. Hey, hey, hey to you. PG, you're doing the work, and we are all here for you. Summer, we're coming for you. Amen. Amen. Hopefully we find her. Hopefully we find her. It's been a long road, long dark road, but we traveled it. We have traveled it. there's our call him wildfire. Good to see you, girl. Hello, PG. Hello to you. All right. I think we are at the bottom. I think we're at the bottom. Uh Coupon Mama. How you doing, sweetie? Hello, ladies. Hope everyone is having a good day. We hope you're having one too, sweetie. Absolutely. God bless. All right. Haley, how you doing? Oh, wow. Wow. That came in simultaneously right there. Floating hearts. I appreciate it. And 450 joules. I appreciate it so much. Gemini, Coupon Mama. I appreciate that. God bless you. Oh, Marlena is a liar. Don Wells, 110. Don Wells, 110. I don't know why I find that funny, but I do. um, well, she'd have to pick a number and stand in line down there and down there on Ben Hill Road, wouldn't she, Donald? Y'all mother freaking liars. All of y'all liars. Every last one of you big lying. I got a question for you, Don. Where's Summer? Where is Summer, Donald? Tell us. Why don't you enlighten us? She right. Oh, that's right. You had a dream. She was right down the road. Beautiful place. Morrison Cemetery is beautiful, ain't it? Absolutely beautiful. It's a beautiful place. It's right down the road, you know. But you guys stay tuned. You stay tuned over the next few days because you're gonna learn a whole lot of things between now, tomorrow, and the following day. I'm gonna enlighten y'all on some things, right? You're definitely gonna get enlightened. Right, Miss Justice? That's what I say. Her brother is a thief. Right? Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. He probably is. You know, most illegal substance abusers are, right? Most people who use illegal substances are thieves. How do you think they get it? Right? How do you think they get it? I'm robbing people, but I'm an innocent man. Right? Some sugar boom boom in here. We're gonna get some sugar boom boom going. Right? PG gonna I'm gonna crank it up. All right. That is beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, I appreciate that, Teddy. Absolutely. Hey, Jolly Life. Yeah, why don't they? Won't they take a link and tell us about it? That's what I'm saying. All losers. All losers. Who you talking about? You talking about the people on Ben Hill Road, or you talking about us? Oh, I do too. I love that song. I guess Donnie won't come back with no answers, right? Donald don't want to answer who he's talking about. I'm gonna tell you something. Marlena Crawford, you know, she was, you know, Dolly Vision had Marlena Crawford and Ernie and up there and Marlena's brother kind of talking in the background, which, you know, I'm going to bring some of that to the table as well tomorrow night. I mean, very interesting things, very interesting things. And, you know, I appreciate Marlena talking. I do. I appreciate her, you know, coming out and, you know, taking her time to, you know, to talk to Ernie, to talk to, you know, anything to help Summer, anything to help Summer. Um, you know, I didn't ever have a problem with her brother Ricky. Um, Ricky seemed to, you know, he, he seemed to, you know, um, be more level headed than, you know, he wasn't on defense as much as, you know, Marlena. Marlena was really on, you know, was really um, on the defense. Um, but Ricky wasn't. I had no problems with him. And, you know, and he seemed to talk and he seemed to know what he was talking about. And, you know, but like Marlena talks over him. She talks over him a lot, you know, so you don't really get to hear what Ricky has to say, you know. I would have liked to spoke to Ricky one on one, you know. Um, he had said something, you know, last night in the background, and Marlena switched it up. It wasn't what he said at all. I went back, I listened, but I'm going to cover that part tomorrow night. Tonight, I'm going to cover um, Marlena's interview, but I'm going to bring Sherry up real quick. So bear with me, y'all.
No, bear
So,
with me.
Sherry,
Bear with me. Hey, honey. I uh I just want to reiterate something I've said in the past about you, okay? If you don't mind. But
sweet and salty. PG, how do you feel Ernie is doing? If you don't mind me asking, I think Ernie's doing a good job. You know, I think he's doing a good job. Um, you know, I I I wish, you know, I wish things could move a little faster, you know, as far as, you know, um getting the attention that that graveyard needs upon it, um, and so forth and so on. Because word through the grapevine, well, that um, I heard that somebody, well, actually, some bodies are are pushing to try to get over there. And w- would I be surprised if that gravesite is dug up? Would I be surprised if law enforcement is at that graveyard and the coffin's sitting outside? No, it would not shock me. It would not shock me to wake up tomorrow morning and find out that that gravesite has been dug up and something removed. Um, that would not shock me at all. It would not shock me in the least if somebody did that in the middle of the night, because from what I'm hearing through the grapevine, somebody's already suggesting it. They're already suggesting, and it's not the good people. It's not the good people. I hear that these suspects are actually talking about digging it up and blaming it on people like us. You know, that's what I'm hearing. I don't know, you know, pretty good source, has no reason why. Um, I don't know.
Why
It's
the
just what
heck?
I'm hearing.
Why the heck would they think we have anything to do with it? We don't have anything to do if they dig up that grave or not. We've
Well,
suggested it.
that ain't what I'm saying, Sherry. What I'm
Okay,
saying is, I'm hearing
I'm
through the
sorry.
grapevine. I'm hearing through the grapevine that they want to get her out before we get a chance to look and check it.
Oh, okay.
They want to move it to keep themselves from
Well,
going to
I guess
prison.
somebody needs to be on watch then.
Yeah,
Somebody,
somebody needs
yeah,
to be
somebody
watching.
needs to be watching what's going on.
Oh yeah, I heard they're
Even if
supposed
it's
to.
just even if it's somewhere out of the way with a pair of binoculars.
I
Somebody
heard
needs to be watching what's going on there.
or put up a trail cam where they
In
can't find
my
it.
in my opinion.
Yeah, put trail cams where they
And I'm
can't find
keeping
it.
it. That's my opinion. I'm keeping it.
But I hear they plan on doing it in the night.
I
That's what
don't
I'm
doubt
hearing.
that. I don't doubt that. I don't doubt it. We're just going to have to wait and see.
So,
I
but
just wanted to come
I
up and say,
mean, and the problem is if they did that, well, we might not ever find Summer then, right? If they move her,
if they move her, yeah,
hmm
we
we
won't
won't have
know.
no idea where she went.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I just want to come up and say hi to you and once again give you a commendation from me. This is just my personal opinion about you, but I will tell you again, I've said it before, how much I appreciate your perseverance in this case. You have not let up. You have been digging and digging and digging, and you've been doing so much research. People don't realize how time consuming that is.
Oh
But
God,
I
it
do.
is.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate it. And that's all I wanted to tell you, PG.
Hey, I appreciate
And
you.
and,
Appreciate me,
and
girlfriend.
I love you. You keep on doing what you think is right, okay?
I love you too, Sherry. You know it.
Okay, bye baby.
Bye, sweetie. Um, because the family wants it done. They don't got the money. They ain't got the money. It costs money to exhume someone and check down in there. It costs money to exhume them and then put them back. You know, that's expensive. But from what I'm hearing, it might get exhumed for free um, by these suspects, right? Wouldn't that be something to talk about? Lord of mercy, that would really be something to talk about. I mean, one thing for sure, if that happened, we know she was there, right? We know she was there. That's all I got to say. Oh, girl, I appreciate that. God bless. You guys been here working right alongside me. You know, we all been working together. We're getting it done. We're getting it done. That's the main thing. Don't matter who's doing it, as long as it gets done, right? My daughter told me um earlier. She said, "Mom, don't pick up my mess. I'm going to come back and clean that up." I ain't seen my daughter since. Right? I already picked it up. I done cleaned it up. I ain't seen her. And you know what I tell myself, PG, one day you're gonna miss this. Go ahead and clean it up. One day you're gonna miss not seeing these messes. And you know how I know that I'm crazy? Because I answer myself. When is that day gonna come? Right? They said you ain't crazy until you start answering yourself. Found out today I was. It's been bona fide. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, girl. I'm glad to hear my son arrived home, PG. Amen. There you go. You better keep him home. You better keep that one home. He gonna make you a grandma, girl. He says she's on it. They all say that. They all say that. Don't believe them. Don't believe it. You gotta be smarter than that one. Right. Exactly. Exactly. All right. I'm gonna start this, you guys, because this is what I came in for.
Um, Candace tried to adopt, or try to let me. Well, I was supposed to have adopted the one above Summer, the little boy.
Trust me, Molly is in the bushes. Molly's in the bushes, girlfriend. Molly is always in the bushes with Grandis, right? Molly's always in the bushes with Grandis. They fighting over the binoculars.
And I was told I wasn't going to get pregnant. I had ovarian cancer. I wasn't going to have a youngin.
Molly's riding around with Grandis. Girl, that is funny as hell. Molly riding around with Grandis doing wheelies on the scooter. I love it. Oh crap. You're busted. You're busted, Australia. Molly just showed up. She caught you. That is hilarious. I love it.
All my friends around me was having kids and stuff. And when she's pregnant with him, she told me that um,
Molly said it's too late for that now, Australia. Too late for those hearts.
That she would adopt him out to me since she didn't want him anymore. She didn't want to keep him because she already had enough as it was. And then when it was time to adopt him and her to have him, she took off and fled the state. And then she got mad over something petty, I guess. I don't know what it was. And did not let me adopt him. And she quit talking to me for like almost a year after that. So I didn't see him again until he was like a year old.
Oh, okay. Okay. So she pulled back when she wasn't going to get what she wanted in
Right.
the adoption.
I
And
think Dawn had a lot. Now that I see that, I think Dawn had a lot to do with that because of what's all been going on with these children and what's been happening.
okay, did your daughter see a suitcase packed for summer around the time she went missing?
Yes, she did. She's told me when Grandma or whatever, Grandpa, whatever her name is,
Grandass.
Grandass, yeah. When Grandass brought her home that morning, she said that she seen a suitcase and it was packed, that her and her daddy was going away, and it was just her and her daddy. Nobody else. Nobody else was going. It was just her and her father going. And yes,
Yeah.
my daughter has talked to the police. Yes, my daughter has talked to FBI. So yes, they do know this.
And Grandass is the one. See, Marlena's daughter wasn't supposed to come home until Sunday. Marlena was going to pick her daughter up on Sunday. She was supposed to spend the weekend with Summer that particular weekend. But for some reason, unexpectedly, Grandis comes running with Marlena's daughter back to Marlena's house on Friday.
Late Friday afternoon. She went there on a Wednesday night. No, a Tuesday night. And she was supposed to stay for a week because it was in the summer and she was out of school, and they were supposed to go to wetlands and stuff like that because my car was down. And Candace said, let me have her. We're going to go to wetlands. I'll pay for it all. Me and Dawn will take care of her. And I'll bring her back to you on Sunday evening when we get back, or you can pick her up. We just stay in touch and I'll let you know. Well, I didn't have time to stay in touch because Friday morning about 10 o'clock, Grandass was bringing my daughter to the bottom of the hill and dropped her off at my house.
Right.
Where I lived at that time in Bayletson.
Absolutely.
And I asked my daughter why she was at home so soon. She said that, here comes the suitcase thing, said that her dad and her was going away on a field trip and she had to come home. On a trip somewhere. They were going away for a couple of days and she had to come home.
Did your daughter say that she actually saw the suitcase, actually saw it packed?
Yes, my daughter's seen it packed. She's seen them putting clothes into a suitcase. She also said that she picked out her favorite dress to take with her. I mean, which she did. She had a favorite dress. It was pink and it was Paw Patrol. It was the pink Paw Patrol.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. I believe there's a picture of her in that particular dress.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure there is.
Them kids knew not to go off of that hill by themselves, period, for one. For two, they ain't nobody just going to pull up down there. What's going on and why is this happening? Because this has never happened. I mean, no kid has never went missing. And I'm telling you, I was raised down there, brought up down there. I mean, my sisters and my brothers was brought up down there. I mean, never once in your lifetime knew that kids went missing down there.
Right.
Ever.
Nobody ever.
And then you
And
want to mention about the dogs or whatever. I heard in the story about Summer Wells's case where they said somebody said something about the dogs not barking or whatever. Them dogs up on that hill would alert on anything and everything that moved. So he can't sit there and say that them dogs never barked or whatever. Them dogs up on that hill would raise hell until he would holler about 15 times to get them to call them off to make them hush. I know because
now that's something that she has kept consistent. She has kept that consistent about the dogs barking and not shutting up, always being there, not leaving the property. I don't think they left the property that day either. I mean, they were gone all day, but show up right when law enforcement is coming? I don't think so. That's bullshit. Them dogs were there all day. Matter of fact, I had made a joke to Don Wells. I told him that his watchdogs must have watches. They know when to leave and when to come home. And he started laughing, like really laughing about it, you know? And he said, right? They know when to come back. And was, they would, he's like, they weren't here all day. They knew exactly when to show back up. And he was really, you know, like it was pure bullshit. But that they were ever gone. It was pure bullshit that they was ever gone, but him and Candace said it anyway. And people had, and because, nobody was there to witness it, they can't dispute it. They can't, people can't dispute it, even though it's a damn lie. And that's just the kind of stuff that that is his and Candace's and Grandis's, these people's sense of humor. That's the shit that, different people laugh about different things, right? Everybody ain't got the same sense of humor. And that's the sense of humor these particular people have.
Daughter, Summer give my daughter one of the pups out of the video. Well, I think you've played it maybe, or somebody else has played it, where she's outside and she's got a puppy in her hand. I had a dog that come out of that litter. Actually, matter of fact, the dog that Summer had in her hand, she gave it to my daughter, and it ended up getting sick and dying. I think somebody poisoned it. But anyway,
that was that Yucky?
No, that was I don't remember what she called. Maybe it was Yucky, the little brown one with one blue eye and one brown eye, and he was spotted up. He had no tail.
The one she was holding, in that picture.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, Dawn and Candace said that was Yucky, and matter of fact, Candace later tried to pawn off some dog that we all know was not Yucky at all. And we didn't ever know what happened to Yucky. We had no idea what ever happened to Yucky. So Yucky
Summer gave it to my daughter.
And it ended up being unalived as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Sorry to hear that.
But just to make it all clear that my daughter did not stay up there for weeks and weeks at a time. I didn't just drop my kid off with her. She wasn't up there but like 2 days tops at the most. I think that was Andy Bernard's old lady that said, or maybe had said, that I had dropped my daughter off and she'd been up there for weeks or whatever. I don't really know who said it, but my daughter never went up there for weeks at a time. My daughter was always with me. Always. She never hardly went anywhere.
Actually, that was the first time you'd ever let them keep your daughter, wasn't it? Wasn't that the first time that you ever allowed them?
That was the first time I ever in her lifetime let them keep her like that. Ever.
Right. Right.
Because if you
And
wasn't close family to me, if you wasn't my sister-in-law, if you wasn't my sister, if you wasn't my brother, or if you wasn't any part of my ex or her father's people, you didn't keep my youngin'.
did you ever see Candace or Don Wells or Grant? Did you ever see Summer and those boys be abused up there on the hill?
I mean, I've seen them have stuff thrown at them. I've seen them being whooped. I've seen them being knocked down. I've seen them. I even seen the last time I was up there, and I would think that was like around my birthday, like maybe a couple months. Well, maybe it was about a month and a half before. Month and a half. Yeah, because she went missing in June, right?
Mm-hmm.
May the 13th or May the 11th, or maybe it was a couple of days before Mother's Day. I saw the oldest one smoking pot. And I was like, what the heck are you doing? Why are you doing this? Why are you letting them? Oh, well, it's okay. And which Candace was doing Lord tabs at the time because her teeth was swollen up. They was drinking a big bottle of liquor. And I had asked Candace, I said, so Don hasn't took off on one of his drug sprees. She said, no, not yet. He's been good for a while. We've been trying to clear or get our life together and this and that. I said, well, that's good. I'm proud that, y'all are trying to live right or whatever. And then it wasn't not sure after that. She had called like a week or so after my birthday. My birthday's on Mother's Day. And she said, he's took off again. He's been gone for like 4 days. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah. And I don't know if he's coming back this time or not. What am I going to do with all these children? What am I going to do about paying the bills and all that stuff? And then when that day that I was up there for Mother's Day, right around there, CPS was coming in to make a claim on them going to school dirty or not being in school enough. It was something around that area. Like they had been laying out or not going to school or going to school dirty or that day I helped her hang about 5 or 6, maybe 7 blue totes of clothes for them kids, folded them, put them all in a different section. I washed 20 loads. I know at least 20 to 30 loads of laundry that day. I mean, I used to go in and wash the dishes, cook for them, everything, and help pick up the house to get it cleaned up and get it ready to pass inspection. I know I done that some. I always tried to help her when she needed help. But, in the end, I'm the one that got backstabbed. I'm the one that lost my kid. I'm the one that's being followed. I'm the one that's getting accused of taking Summer and this and that. If I would have took Summer, she'd have been in a better environment. She wouldn't have been mistreated, and she wouldn't be missing right now.
Absolutely.
And if I'd have took Summer, I wouldn't have stayed in town. I'm not that.
Damn. The last person that cooked for Candace ended up on a live, right? Dee Dee ended up on a live, and Candace was in her kitchen eating the damn food that poor Dee Dee made, right? Candace in there eating it.
Dumb. Everybody has known where I've been at the whole entire time. The police has known where I've been at the whole entire time. I would not take Summer like that.
Well, if you would have took her, you would only took her to keep her away from the evil that you saw going on around her.
Yes, and I would have made it better for her. I wouldn't have made it worse for her.
They asked, did you ever see Summer sleeping on anything cold, like jugs of milk, or falling asleep on top of ice cream, or falling asleep on a pile of snow?
No, ma'am, never.
Oh, they were going to give him to you.
Yeah, because I wouldn't be able to get pregnant or have any kids, so she offered to give him to me. She knew that my family was a good family, that he would be taken care of and would be looked after, just like my little girl has been the whole entire time she's been alive. And I've got to thank God for that, because my kid has had several people that love her and look after her and give her graces of how good she's been raised and how respectful she's been raised. And I've got to say, I've really chose the people that has been in my daughter's life.
And why did you say she changed her mind? she has really chose the people who have been in her daughter's life? Well, she chose Don and Candace, who are, well, we know what they are, right? We saw the substantiated charges. So we know what they are. And when you say you chose who was in your daughter's life, sounds like Don and Candace was also choosing who was in their daughter's life as well, right? Who was in all their kids' lives as well. I'm gonna tell you, there's some sick stuff going on with these people and them children. That's disgusting.
She had got mad at me for something. I don't remember what it was at that time. Maybe because Don was screwing up at work and my dad had fired him. I think that's most of it, because my dad had fired him for not coming in half drunk, half lit. Didn't God rest my daddy's soul. But anyway, not coming in when he's supposed to, laying out drunk, coming in with alcohol on his breath, always messed up. My dad worked in the public eye. My daddy painted all the hospitals around here, like I said before. He painted Johnson City. He painted Indian Path. He painted Hostin Valley. He painted all these, even Johnson City Medical. He painted all these hospitals around here. My dad had a good name until all this stuff went downhill with Summer Wells, because of what Donnie had said. Donnie had told my dad that he had to sacrifice his kid. And one day he would see her again, exactly what he said to my dad. And my dad, everybody's took that all out of text. My dad went to his grave and never told nobody but me and the family that was around him and the police. Rather, my dad didn't like talking to the law. My daddy wasn't never a man that called the law. My daddy handled stuff on his own. But Don had ran into him and told him that he had sacrificed his own kid and he would see her again someday, which my dad is dead. And I wish some people that talks about my dad, they talk about how, oh, well, he should have done this or he should have done that. No, that was who my dad was. If you went to my dad for a secret, my daddy kept that secret. My daddy didn't go out blurting that stuff around. He didn't say stuff like that. My dad was a good man. He would give you his shirt off of his back. He'd bring you in. He would feed you. He would give you everything he possibly could to help you.
Last time she saw Summer was around Mother's Day.
No, I saw Summer the Tuesday evening that they came and picked her up. That was the last day I seen her, and she went missing the following Tuesday. Was the last time I seen Summer alive and well.
When you was up there cooking for them, did they eat like they were super hungry?
They always ate like they were super hungry, like they were starved all the time.
Did you ever see Candace just giving him frozen pizzas?
Yes, a lot. And drinking gallons and gallons of chocolate milk. Nothing else but chocolate milk. They wasn't allowed, when the chocolate milk was gone, they would scream for more chocolate milk. They wasn't allowed, and hundreds of off-brand soda pop. I mean, them kids, they went through some groceries in a day's time. Because when I kept them up there or whatever, watched them or helped her watch them, I've never denied my kid any food. I've never denied my kid anything to drink, whatever. I always got it for them, whether I was going to get jumped on or not.
Did you ever see, how could those kids go through a ton of groceries when they didn't have no groceries? They didn't even have a working refrigerator. They had no groceries to go through. So that right there is just bullshit. Did you ever by any chance see Candace messing around with, we know Jose, from what Jose said, Candace, confided in him that she was the first one to, that she groomed and was the first one to sleep around with Hunter, which at that particular time was like a
No,
13-year-old boy.
she wasn't. Hunter wasn't the first boy that she slept with underage.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you do hold knowledge.
There was one more, but I'm not going to put his name out there because
Oh,
it ain't
no,
fair because
no.
he hasn't came to light.
Right. No, no, no. We don't we ain't gonna bring him into it. I know the one you're talking about, and yeah, he don't need that smoke screen and bullshit and gaslight everybody into trying to believe that, child protective services came up there and kidnapped their daughter. Boy, something, child protective services don't have to kidnap anybody. They could have righteously took Summer out of there on the day she was born. They could have righteously removed all of them kids at birth if they wanted to.
They should have, because Candace
Yeah,
had drugs
they
in her
should have.
system.
If you ask me, they they should have took all of those kids long before Summer came up missing. What I'm trying to say is Fred and Laura's kids should have been removed because they were doing illegal stuff and those children needed to be saved from it. Don, Candace, and Grandis, they were doing up there, man, they was doing super bad stuff. Super, super bad stuff. And I got a feeling that Laura's oldest daughter got into some of that stuff that went on at Ben Hill Road too, because she talked about it. So with that being said, like I said, there was multiple children victims to 110 Ben Hill Road, but they seem to have compliant parents, if you know what I mean. It seems like these parents were willing to let their kids participate in whatever was going on up there. And Marlena's daughter was actually taken because her and her sister-in-law allegedly, according to Child Protective Services, was SAing the little girl. So that's why her daughter got took and moved in with her sister. Just saying. So it sounds to me like, all of these people were into some. It seems like Don and Candace and Grandis, they only affiliated with sick, twisted-minded people like themselves. People who were into, obviously, and this is my opinion, into SAing children. That's just my opinion.
I know Candace smoked pot
Marlena,
with every. I know Candace smoked and drank with every kid she had. So
they said how many days before Summer went missing did you see her? Did you?
well, I seen her on that Wednesday afternoon when they picked up my daughter. Was the last time I seen Summer.
Did your daughter tell you that she spoke to Summer on Friday before she came home?
Yeah, she's seen Summer before.
Her daughter did not just speak to Summer on Friday. She spoke to Summer on Saturday. They went to church together. Grandis dropped Marlena Crawford's daughter off after church on Saturday. And Summer came up missing on Tuesday. Hey, Arctic, I appreciate that, girl. Gifted 5 Prayer Garden of America memberships. Okay. Hey, I appreciate the support for Summer's channel. God bless. But yeah, that's what it was. That's exactly what it was. And Summer comes up missing on a Tuesday. The little girl returned home on a Saturday. Um, Marlena didn't talk about, oh, it was a big metal suitcase. It was one of them old, you know, suitcases out of the 1930 movies, um, one of them James Bond suitcases, that you could hold up and, use for a, a vest, a, de- a defense vest, if you know what I mean. Um, a pow pow proof vest. Come on. Now it's a great big out of the movies, you know, metal suitcase. That's crazy as hell.
She left because they were packing her stuff to get ready to leave.
Okay, so
That's
Summer,
why Summer didn't come with Grandma and her to bring her home.
did your daughter? Did you ever ask your daughter if Summer looked scared of them packing her up like that? If she looked happy? If she looked like she believed their BS or she didn't believe their BS? Did your daughter?
My daughter says she looked like she was excited in a way, but then again, she looked like she was scared. So,
Right. Aw, Arctic, we miss you too. We love and miss you. God bless. Marlena, did you take the video of Summer sleeping on milk jugs, June 15th, 2021?
no, I did not. I wasn't. I was at home when they brought my kid home.
She said she did not record no video on June 15th, 2021. And, I'm going to leave it up to Marlena's discretion if she wants to tell you what did happen on June 15th, 2021.
Are you talking about when Summer called me, or not Summer? Candace called me at 4:30 that afternoon. It was on Facebook, and she had told me that she was in the kitchen cooking them kids something to eat, and Summer was on her swing, and she looked out the window and turned around to the kitchen sink, and Summer was gone. In most videos, you all have seen that Summer's swing is on that big old tree. And if you look at the window, that straight window that's from that tree to the side of the house there, on the tree is on the right hand side with the swing. The left hand side, that window that's in the middle right there towards the end, that is the kitchen. If you stand in the kitchen at the stove or at the sink or whatever, right there in that one little area, you could see if somebody snuck up on that hill to get her, like they said she did. And she knew better. Like I said, I'm going to repeat this one more time. Them kids knew better to go off of that hill at any point in any time. Okay, at 4:00, she calls me and tells me Summer is missing. I tell her, I said, well, how long has she been missing? She said, maybe 20 minutes or so. I said, well, call the police. If not, I am calling them. And she said, well, I'm going to get off here and call them, and I'm going to look for Summer some more. I said, okay, well, let me know if you found her. Well, she didn't. So, and then the story came out that Don said that he drove from Jonesboro to Beach Creek in like 20 minutes or so. No, that's not possible. That is not possible at all. There's too many curvy roads. There's too much going on at that time. You're not going to get from there at 3 or 4 o'clock still with the school buses running and all that within 20 minutes. You're not going to do that. So therefore also I heard one 911 call say that she went for a walk. That hussy never went for a walk. Candace, aka Candace, she never walked anywhere. She always rode somewhere, whether it was on a mini bike, in a vehicle, whatever. She never walked anywhere.
Marlena, do you know Andy B and Fred Hill?
God Almighty. I know Mr. Fred Hill. Yes, I do. Whoever asked that. and he's not a cork in the corkscrew kind of dude. He is. I'm not bashing anybody. This ain't about bashing anybody, but he's got some trials and tribulations of his own that he needs to work out. Let's put it that way. And Andy B, I don't know too much about him. I've met him like once, maybe twice. He probably still don't even know what I look like to this day. But it's just awful funny that all of them was together at that point in time that, Summer went missing. So somebody knows something.
Amen.
Fred Hill knows something. Andy B knows something. Whatever her name is, Andy B's old lady, she knows something. They know something, and they're covering up for each other.
Last time she saw Summer was around Mother's Day.
No, I saw Summer the Tuesday evening that they came and picked her up. That was the last day I seen her, and she went missing the following Tuesday. Was the last time I seen Summer alive and well.
When you was up there cooking for them, did they eat like they were super hungry?
They always ate like they were super hungry, like they were starved all the time.
Did you ever see Candace just giving him frozen pizzas?
Yes, a lot. And drinking gallons and gallons of chocolate milk. Nothing else but chocolate milk. They wasn't allowed, when the chocolate milk was gone, they would scream for more chocolate milk. They wasn't allowed, and hundreds of off-brand soda pop. I mean, them kids, they went through some groceries in a day's time. Because when I kept them up there or whatever, watched them or helped her watch them, I've never denied my kid any food. I've never denied my kid anything to drink, whatever. I always got it for them. Whether I was going to get jumped on or not.
Did you ever see, did you ever by any chance see Candace messing around with, we know Jose, from what Jose said, Candace, confided in him that she was the first one to, that she groomed and was the first one to sleep around with Hunter, which at that particular time was like a 13-year-old boy.
She wasn't, Hunter wasn't the first boy that she slept with underage.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you do hold knowledge.
There was one more, but I'm not going to put his name out there because it ain't fair because he hasn't came to light.
They want me to ask you, how long was it after Summer went missing? Like a couple of days, week, a month, before Donald came around and told your dad that, that about sacrificing Summer for his sins?
Within 4 days.
It was within 4 days. Oh, wow. Okay. Thank you. And I'm going to play that 911 call for you, so you can hear that, Marlena, since you haven't heard it. Okay.
Okay. I had to tell her to call 911, right? She wasn't going to report her missing to begin with, right?
Right. This is the 911 call when Summer was hollering, screaming for the help, that Jose had. The whole 911 call was because Jose seen some things in the shower that, he...
Now, Jose is dead too now, right?
Yes. As soon as they figured out where he was, he ended up dead, yes.
See, so Jose died, so did Cotton. Cotton got disposed of too.
Cotton died.
I don't care.
Cotton died. Jose died. Allison died. Leslie died. Another lady died as well that was trying to save a little girl, trying to take it to his grandmother.
So there's not many of us that knows the inside story that's still alive, right?
Absolutely, yeah, pretty much so. And I'll tell you another thing. She pulls up. She sees Summer coming, with nothing on whatsoever, being thrown out of the shower.
And
and
that
she doesn't call
911. She also told me in a store one night that Fred Hill is the one that went against me and that she had paperwork and everything for them to take my kid.
What?
She said she had proof that Fred Hill went against me to take my youngin'. It was a plot of getting my youngin' taken away. So really, so wait a minute, was it really Fred Hill? Because me
No.
and Fred Hill was on good terms at one time. And
No.
was it? I mean, it wasn't Fred Hill. It was her and Andy B and Candace and Dawn sucking
Absolutely.
this up and trying to get her taken away from me. And let me just congratulate you all. Y'all did it perfectly. You got her taken away.
No, Marlena, you got your own daughter taken away. You got your own daughter taken away because you were not a good mother. You was a piece of freaking trash mother who cared more about illegal substances than working your ass every day at a job. You did not try to get educated for your daughter. You did not try to get clean off the illegal substances for your daughter. You did not try to get a good paying job for your daughter and put her in daycare and pay for a piece of land with a home on it for your daughter. You did not try to keep the refrigerator full for your daughter. You did not try to find a good husband that would help you pay the bills and raise your daughter, and go to church every Sunday and Wednesday evenings. You were not willing to sacrifice in any way for your child. You wanted to do you. And you drug your child around and allowed, in my opinion, according to Child Protective Services, you was not only, and your sister-in-law. Now, if you and your sister-in-law, you would allow your sister-in-law to do what Child Protective Services said that you and your sister-in-law did, then you'd have no problem letting other people do the same thing to your child. You were a piece of shit mother, and you lost your daughter because of the accusations and there had to have been some substantiated proof that your daughter had been done like that, or Child Protective Services would not have took her. Face the truth. Stop fucking lying. Getting well, there's no cure for people who do that. People who are sick enough to essay a child is just mentally, you're so fucked up, there's no coming back, in my opinion. I just do not think there's no cure for people like that. So you shouldn't be allowed around children at all. And probably like Don and Candace Wells, you signed your daughter over to your sister to avoid fucking prosecution. They didn't want to put your daughter through all the shit, just like they didn't want to put the Wells boys through all the shit. They didn't want to put Allison's kids through all the shit. They didn't want to put Allison's mother's kids through all the shit. And they didn't want to put other people's kids through all the shit. You all lost your kids after Summer came up missing because law enforcement realized that there was some real sick, disgusting shit going on up there on that hill with a lot of people and their children. That's why you lost your kid. And in my opinion, you know exactly what happened to Summer because Candace called you to ask you where the hell Chad Arnold was because her ass was sitting down at Fred's house waiting on him to show up with an unlive child in the backseat of Grandis's vehicle. And she was getting paranoid as fucking hell. And he was running late. And she was calling you, wanting you to figure out where the hell he was because she's waiting on him. And you fucking know it. A 12-minute conversation. 12 minutes. And like you said, you didn't say hello or what's up, girlfriend? How's it going? No. You said, what's wrong, Candace? What's going on? Like you already knew. You already knew that shit was going down on the 15th. You already knew, and you were already wondering and asking if things were going wrong and what was going down. You said it right over at Dolly's. And that's why I love you running your mouth. I love you coming out here. I love you talking. Because every time you open your fucking mouth, we learn that you are more involved in all of this than meeting the eye. All you're doing is solidifying what we fucking already know. And we appreciate that. We appreciate it. You are working, you are basically a puppet for Chad Arnold. You're out here running your mouth for Chad. You came at me because Chad saw us in the cemetery and he got you to come and talk to PG to see what you could find out. But we found out a hell of a lot more about you and Chad and the Wells and everybody else than you ever found out information for Chad. Right? Absolutely. Why? Because Summer's Army is brilliant. We're brilliant. We went to school. We got educated. We got good jobs. We stayed away from, we said fucking no to illegal substances. No. How hard is that? No, we don't want none. No, we don't want to go out partying. No, we don't want no alcohol. No, we don't need that shit. What we need is a good job, a nice home, a decent paycheck to raise our children righteously and keep them away from fucking people like you guys. You go and you take your fucking illegal substances because it's all the fuck you got. It's all the fuck you got. You have nothing else. You don't have your child. You don't have a home. You don't have a fucking job. You don't have an education. You don't have anything because you haven't ever applied yourself to having nothing but a big fucking mouth and an ass that constantly wants to get into trouble. And your daughter paid the price. And I hope to God that she doesn't ever end up like you. I hope to God she does get educated. I hope to God she does say no to illegal substances. I hope to God she doesn't become a drinker. I hope to God that little girl gets educated and wants in life what you don't have. I hope she doesn't ever want to be like you. That's what I hope.
But you know what? It'll be hell or high water if I don't get her back. I don't understand this. Let's just put this out there. My sister-in-law is a Hawkins County's cop's daughter. Bitch, she was with me the night that you come up and said you had shit on Fred Hill about him plotting against me. Bitch, I got witnesses where we was. Where's your witness at?
Right?
Where's it at there, Jody Sue? Oh, wait, you don't have none. You don't have nobody to cover that ass for you, do you? Boyfriend's already put a ring on something else. She's the one that was closer to him. She was the one getting paid off, getting her nails done and everything else with the money was coming in down there. Marlena didn't receive any The Lips also said that I wouldn't know what time she went missing. She said that I would not know the phone call that I got from Candace, and the story that I told was not true. The story that I told when you all asked me, she was in the kitchen cooking. That's the story that it was originally that she told me. And somebody said today also that Dawn was 45 minutes away.
You know what? Marlena can run her mouth any way she pleases on PG. But that Crystal, I got video of Crystal. And Crystal, on you want to talk about somebody that pulled Marlena through the mud? It was Crystal. And she's back to be pulled through the mud again. All right? She's back to be pulled through the mud again because obviously Marlena doesn't ever learn, right? She doesn't learn. That's why she continues to be homeless and continues to stay on the illegal substances. That's why, all these things, that's why she continues to do them. She continues to do it because she doesn't ever learn. She doesn't learn. She's one of those people. She's one of those people, that hit the damn wall and get back up and hit it again. People like that don't ever learn nothing. And I'll tell you another thing. You seen last night over at Dolly's. Marlena did not want if PG comes up here, I'm gone. If PG comes up here, I'm gone. Well, if she's telling the truth, why did she worry about PG popping up? She was afraid of me popping up. Why? Because that bitch knows I would tell her exactly the way it is, and it would all be what she don't know how to tell. The truth. The real fucking truth. Right? Yes, she was afraid. Because I'm going to tell you something. Unlike Dolly and unlike a lot of these creators, PG knows this case inside and out. You ain't going to tell me fucking shit about this case because I have done my research. I have done my homework. I know everything there is to know. And I know who the fuck's lying and who ain't. I know who's changing their stories and who isn't. I am on top of all of this 24/7 and have been for 5 damn years. And that's why none of these fucking suspects want me popping up. They don't want to talk to PG. Because they can't lie to me. They can't go around the mulberry bush with me. And I'll tell you another thing. They know that I don't give a shit for them. I don't need them. I don't want them. And I don't give a fuck about them. And they damn know it. They're not the victims. Summer is.
That he called 911 from his cell phone, and so did she. I don't know if that was the truth or not. She wasn't going to call the police. She went missing. She got home at 3:20 that day. Okay, well, I didn't get a call till 4:30. And she had already been missing in that much of a time.
I didn't get a call till 4:30. Well, she said last night it was 4:37. She said it was 4:37. 4:30 is when she was supposed to meet up with Chad. Chad wasn't in there yet. And Candace called Marlena. And Marlena was talking to Candace. Matter of fact, Marlena was on the phone when Chad showed up. She was on the phone with Candace when Chad popped up at Fred's. 12-minute phone call. Just think about it.
And then they didn't call the police until like 6:30. So there's almost a 2 to 3 hour difference of her being missing. So at this time, they've had time to bury her, get rid of her, and do what.
I'm going to tell you something about her being dangerously beautiful. Because I got a picture of the real Marlena Crawford. I got a picture of her brother as well. And I'm going to tell you what. Both of them look rough as hell. They look rough as fucking hell. And both of them look like they hadn't took a mother freaking bath in months. I'm not talking days or weeks. I'm talking fucking months. You could see the motherfucking. I'm gonna tell you how dirty they was. It looked like they got caught in a fucking dust bowl. Okay. And survived it. And hadn't ever took a shower since. That's what the fuck it looked like.
Whatever, like Andy said, it's done. They know exactly what it is. I was just putting that out there because some people were saying that I'm lying, that I wasn't telling the truth on that. Yes, I am telling the truth on that. Hey, because she said that she was missing, and I said, if you don't pick up the phone right now and call the law, I will.
Right. Well, I think it was all planned out. That's my opinion.
I was looking at your Facebook today, and where you had circled some things in that, like that picture, I hadn't really noticed. Baby, that's my opinion too. I do believe, because the way you circled that stuff and seen that, because you know what? Once you see a dead person, I found my daddy dead. So once you see a dead person and see how blue they are and what spots they're blue in and all that, and how their fingernails and stuff changes and all that, you know. And you know what? I was going through Miss PG's Facebook thing when she's posted pictures up of Summer laying on the milk jugs. I had actually zoomed in and seen where she had circled it. Okay, well, my dad had the same blue spots, black spots like that. His fingernails was blue. His mouth was blue. I mean, I found my dad dead, and I found enough. I worked at home health care, so therefore I've found a couple of my patients dead, but not like being like really up close. So either I've been told that they had died or been there, you know what I mean? Like right after they die and seen how much they've changed color and all that. And the way you posted that picture up and circled them certain spots, yeah, she's dead on them milk jugs.
The reason these people are acting this way, Marlena, is because of this. It's because of this.
Pictures on the farm. Before that, I just spent a bunch of time on prayer gardens, and then now I'm talking to you all.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with that. Yeah, there's all kinds of people that I suspect. You've been up here. You know what it's like up here. I mean, I wish I would have drove you around and showed you a lot of shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been all around the area. I drove all around the area. And like, you told me there was a girl that you suspected when I had talked to you that was coming around that hung out with some riffraff. And what was her name? Marlena or something like that?
Marlena Crawford. And I have no qualms about spreading her name, because the fact of the matter is, the bitch come up here with Bobby Dykes when she knew exactly, because we was trying to help her at the time, and we give her all kinds of money. We done everything we could to help her. We babysitted her daughter. She'd come up here and dump her fucking daughter off. Sorry, I don't mean to say it like that. Sorry, my bad. Excuse me, please. But she'd come up here and bring her daughter up here. She's a precious little girl, beautiful little girl. And she would just dump her off here for weeks at a time while she went out and done her dope or whatever the fuck the hell she done. And I didn't have a problem with that, but she was taking advantage of us. And then when she knew where me and Candace were at a certain point in time, she brought her cousin or whoever she is, a friend, Bobby Dykes, up here, and they stole every tool out of my shed that they could, and everything that they could steal.
And you said she was like living in a homeless camp or something at one point, or something like that on the road?
Well, I mean, her husband, he's in the meth and everything, and they have some hard times. I mean, her mother has custody of her kid right now. I'm not going to mention her name or anything, but her mother has custody of her kid right now. She's out doing dope with her
Do you hear that?
Let's just elaborate on that. You want to?
Go right ahead.
For one, you need to keep my damn daughter's name out your mouth. For two, I never drop my kid off on them sorry pieces of shit anytime and let them keep her but one damn time. For two, I'm not married to her daddy. I have never been married to her daddy. That is a lie straight up out of his fucking mouth. Bobby Dykes is not my cousin. He is like a brother to me. He was one of the boys that ran with several of our family members. He did not steal anything off of him. And yeah, Donnie Wells, I am a bitch. And no, I've never lived in a homeless shelter. You're just so friggin' goddamn stupid. You're stupid as hell. You lie every time that fucking mouth of yours opens. Every damn time. I wasn't doing the dope. You didn't give me all kinds of money. I came up there and I worked my ass off for you. I worked my ass off for your bitch ass old lady that wouldn't get up off of her fucking sorry ass to do any your fucking ball sack. She would do nothing for you. You would bitch on her all the time because God damn, Candace, can't you clean this house? What the fuck is she doing here? Motherfucker, don't think I don't.
Let me do tell. Let me do tell. Let me do tell. She says Candace wasn't scrubbing his goody no spots. So that obviously means she was. Which I heard something that just came back to me, and I'm gonna repeat it to you. But somebody told me that woman that Candace, remember Candace took the picture of some girlfriend of hers, and she put the words, whore across it. Remember that? Put a one in the chat if you remember that picture with the whore across it, because obviously this girl allegedly slept with Don Wells inside Candace's house. Well, I'm going to tell you what I heard. I heard Candace wasn't mad because the girl slept with Don. She was mad because Don and the girl didn't wait for her to join them. That is what I was told, straight up, by someone I know for a fact was hanging with the Wells. Just saying. So, Marlena's up there scrubbing places that Candace wouldn't scrub. Whoa. That's what it sounds like.
I don't remember. I remember you cussing me like a dog and you didn't even know that I was there until after I came up from the basement and up out of your little poison island right there that you sitting down to the basement to build over a little desk thing to put your big TV up there and your sound system and all that. While you all I was out fucking drinking R&R and partying it up. You kids running around wide awake while y'all are down there in the bed passed out. You're a lying sack of fucking shit. You never gave me money. I don't know where the fuck you get that. I worked for my money. I work daily for my money. 20 totes of laundry. Matter of fact, washing your damn dishes, feeding your precious kids, because your old lady couldn't even get up off of her fucking sorry ass to fix them a frozen damn pizza. Wouldn't even get off of her sorry ass to pour a glass of chocolate milk for them because they would drink it straight out the fucking jug. You all are sorry individuals.
Lisa, she probably was. When either, baby. Oh, hell no. They ain't enough disinfect on the face of this earth to be fucking with these kind of people.
Very sorry individuals. Yep. But like I said last night in the live, if she was fixing her mama's knee brace and the basement door, if you see any of them videos, that basement door is almost lined up with her mama's front door of that camper. She would have seen anybody that was coming in there to get Candace, or Candace would see them come in and get Summer whatsoever, because she would come out the bottom of that door. There ain't no way else out there but that one side door, and it's straight in that vision of where she was fixing her mama's knee brace. That was a lie for rule one. They probably planted that within the 3 hours or the 2.5 hours she was missing, so that would look like a good story. My story on one call said that she took a walk and mama returned back and Summer Wells was nowhere to be found. That's wrong too, because the bitch never walked anywhere, ever. So she had to make up a different story because she was afraid that I would come forward and tell them that story. And then after they know that the police talked to me and I told them exactly what she said, they were trying to figure out who was telling the right story.
And Fred Hill, and Laura, and you, and the Light brothers, and Allison, Hunter, True. He threw Mr. Dobbs under the bus.
Has he said anything about my dad?
Well, your dad passed away. He didn't get a chance on that one, but he probably would have if he could have.
He better not have. He better not.
He threw you, your boyfriend, and your brother under the bus. I mean, Don Wells has thrown everybody. He even threw Wayne Morlock under the bus. Man, was that a big mistake. And he throwed YouTubers under the bus. And he throwed CPS under the bus. And somebody even said he threw Donald Trump under the bus. All right.
You know something? Has he said anything about see, he don't even know. I don't even think he knows that there's 4 of us as a family members.
Oh yeah, and Cotton. Absolutely.
Bobby's not my brother, by the way. Bobby is like a brother. There's a difference. And I never did take Bobby up to his house for him to steal his tools. I never did. Ever. He's the one accusing people of stealing stuff, taking stuff, sneaking on his property, tripping the hell out on the drugs that he was on all the time.
How do you feel about Fred Hill?
Well, that's a deep subject for one.
Well, let's go deep.
Go deep, okay? How deep you want to go?
Hey, girl, all the way to hell if necessary. Let's do it.
Well, Fred Hill didn't like me back in the day. He shot at the road at me while I was riding a 4-wheeler off the side of the mountain up there from a teepee that goes on past his house. That it wasn't even his land. That is where Bobby Dykes' brother, or Bobby Dykes' daddy, got shot over a backhoe. And past that on up, and you go on up in the side of the mountain, there is a teepee on the side of the mountain up there that nobody knows anything about unless you've been from Beach Creek. And then you know about it because you can either ride a horse there or you can ride a 4-wheeler there. We was riding one day and it was getting late. It was about dark. We was coming out of that holler Fred Hill heard the box come off the hill, and he shoots at the road twice. At me and my cousin Bill Shipley, that everybody calls, Billy Boy, whatever they call him.
Right.
But me and him and a bunch of us was riding box off the hill, and he shot at me twice. Then we have had some conversation, back and forth, him snobbing his nose up and this and that and blah, blah, blah. It wasn't nothing serious after that for a long time because my dad went down there and straightened things out. And then before he lost his place or whatever, I had went down there a few times and just riding up in the holler. He never said anything to me. I turned around in the driveway. I've talked to him a couple of times, and then it went better from there. And then I got mad at him because Jody Sue told me that it was him that plotted against me to make me lose my youngin'. That she had paperwork for that. So yeah, then I started getting mad at him again.
I thought she said that was her boyfriend, not her husband. Just asking.
Daniel, my child's daddy is her daddy. That is not my husband. My husband, I married him out of Kentucky 20 years ago.
Okay, so she got married to another guy that she left, and then she got with her baby's daddy, which she was not married to. The one she was with for 14 years, and was talking about, which is her baby's daddy. She is not married to him.
No, ma'am.
Right. Do you know Laura?
I know about her. I don't know her like personally, like kick it, we're friends, nothing like that. No.
Okay.
I've talked to her a couple.
No, Bill Shipley was not the one living in the shed and was sweet on Grandis, or Grandis was sweet. Somebody sweet on somebody. I don't fucking know. But anyway, that ain't the same Bill. Bill Shipley is the one that really disliked Ziggy, because Ziggy went down there and got with his wife, and then they allegedly went to some man's house, and all three of them, supposedly, got with it. And then Bill Shipley wasn't invited to get with it, so he got, mad about it, and that's who Bill Shipley is. And he's still really upset, and he's still really mad because he's really mad at Ziggy because he wasn't invited to the threesome party that they were throwing when Ziggy was down there with some other weird guy. It wasn't Fred. Fred wasn't invited either.
Couple of times, but other than that, no. I mean, we wasn't like buddy clique, friends. No.
Okay.
No.
How good did you know Fred? Like, was he like a good friend, somebody you knew, or was he more like an acquaintance, or like how well did you know Fred? Did you know Fred well enough to ask him to help go up on the Wells property from the other side and steal up on the dirt bikes and everything and get out of there with them?
No, I would have never went to Fred and asked him to do that.
Well, that's PG cannot keep no secrets. That's what he told me. He told me that you and your brother and your boyfriend, that you guys, was asking him to, maybe that's where Don got it. That's where Don got, that you guys supposedly thieves and everything. But he said that, you guys did wanting to help, and he said no, he don't get into none of that shit.
Well, that party's lying because I know he stole a couple of motorcycles somewhere. Let's just put it that way. And for two, I would have never went and asked Fred Hill to do that because I was still pissed off at him for him shooting at me towards the road.
Who
that I
stole
wasn't
the
even on his. I wasn't even on his property.
You ask these people, how good do you know Fred Hill? Well, I know him good enough to know he's a thief and he steals motorcycles, and I know him good enough to know that he gets his pow out and wants to point it at people. And I know him good enough to know, what kind of illegal substances he sells, because I'm always in that holler and seeing that he has that illegal substance, and I look like I'm always on it. Well, you know how good they know Fred Hill. They know Fred Hill pretty fucking good, right? Absolutely. They sure do.
I was in the middle of the county road and he was shot at me.
Who stole up a couple motorcycles?
Fred Hill has.
Hold on, y'all.
I need to get some things off my chest. And
What's up, Gary?
I've been carrying them for 5 years. I advised against it. I went crazy. But somebody said they were going to do
5 years you've been sharing what?
Oh, I need to chill out. I'm about as chilled as you can get, honey bunny. I want to let people have the friendship between Candace and Don and some other people came about. Okay? I don't even care. I don't care if Don and Candace is this. They're going to learn something, which they probably already know this, But this is a ploy to befriend this person to get information out of them. That's what it was about.
It was about a ploy to get information out of you?
No, out of Candace.
Out of Candace.
That's why Daisy befriended Candace. And so did Jinkies a little bit. But Jinkies was always hanging back. She'd always say, Sherry, I'm just a little nervous about this. I said, nervous? Hell, I begged your sister not to even get involved. What'd she do? She got involved.
Right? Oh, do tell.
I begged her. No, I have carried this with me for a long time. Anyway, she's going to hate me for this, but I don't care.
Yeah, I don't either.
What, honey?
Do tell.
Well, that's what the whole thing was about. I'm going to get really close to Candace and get all the information I can out of her.
And what did you get out of her?
This over here. Oh, it's in my pillow.
Do you know what was gotten?
Not much. I'll tell you what. I advised Daisy not to do this. I begged her. I pleaded with her. I said, no, you don't want to get mixed up with these people. Daisy.
Oh, yeah, they're dangerous.
Please, I grew up in Southern Appalachians.
Right.
We had some people.
Do you think that Daisy's fear is what got her to quit doing YouTube? I mean, the fear of Don.
No. I know people have talked to her about it, but she's lost friends with everybody she was out with. Diamonds and Matthew, but also she's nursing, so she doesn't have time to deal with this shit, and she doesn't care about it anymore. I think she got so hurt. She thought she was going to fit in over there. No, she didn't.
Right.
So, anyway, PG, it's a mouth dry. I'm sorry, my lips are getting. No, that was the whole ploy.
I know the ploy was to get information out of Don and Candace about
by being their friends.
By being their friend. But What kind of information did she get?
I don't know. Would you believe I asked Daisy if I could come up and visit with her at the farmhouse, and she told me no. But she let Candace go up for Easter.
Yeah, I
She
know.
would. She wouldn't let me come up. I've never been a criminal. I don't
Right,
have any kind of background.
right.
But she let that one come up and spend the night. I'm just
Oh,
like, I bet she's against Marty, whom I love dearly. Cheeky's loves him too. And what really broke up their relationship was guess who?
who?
Look, Daisy. Chilbity was hanging out with, what was his name? Rap. Anyway, Rap did a bunch of dolls, and I don't know, voodoo dolls, and sent some letters. They weren't very threatening or anything to her elderly neighbor. And so the lady brought them to her, and they had, I don't remember what was inside it. But anyway, I told Jim, but he didn't be about that dude. I said, that dude's crazy as hell.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, no. Uh, but that little ploy, that little trick, that little ruse to get somebody to talk just because you got close to them. But let me tell you something. The only way we are going to get a confession, PG, I'll split it with you, is get us a gallon of R&R and
Hey,
get him.
you talked to Candace one on one.
Yes,
Did she ever say anything that was odd to you?
yes, she did.
Do you care to share that?
Uh, no, I'm not a friend of Candace's now. I didn't have her phone number. I switched to a new iPhone. Somehow her number got deleted. I guess it wasn't really in there, it's just in my call thing or whatever. But anyway, I lost it. So I talked to her very little. I did call 911 one night. They were having a big fight. She laid the phone on the table all mic so I could hear everything going on. I have never heard such fussing and fussing. I could hear things being thrown across the room. I could hear somebody being pushed and saying, don't you do that again. You know what? After a few minutes, about 20 minutes of that, I got scared. I called Hawkins County. I said, they need somebody up there right now. I want a welfare check on these two people. I'm afraid one of them's going to kill the other. And
Right?
that's exactly what I told them. And they went up there too. And that's when White Boy and Michelle, not Michelle, Noel, they went up there. And I could tell her nose had been broken. And then I find out the rest later, and everything, I guess, was already true. They had to leave the house. They had to go get a hotel. I think Candace went with them. Look, somebody goes crazy. Somebody goes crazy when they drink or smoke or tooty toot toot or whatever they do.
Right?
But anyway, Jinkies, she was more like tolerant of them. She
Well,
wasn't gonna.
Jinkies knew about that paperwork. Jinkies knew
Oh,
about
she
that
knows. No, even before
the
that.
SA charges.
You know what? Even before that.
How come Jinkies didn't warn other people about
Well, the
Candace?
reason the reason
Why
Jinkies
did she
knows
not bring
that.
that out? Because she knew Candace was getting around people's children and stuff at those tree lightings
Yes,
all of
yes,
in that
yes.
when they
And
were
did you watch her live when she talked about that? About the kids being in there and what
she
they.
didn't talk about it. She just said that she had reasons to not want to be around Dawn and Candace, and that
Oh, he started. He started on Nana with life. She's had to have one of her legs amputated. Really, from a blood clot. And she's one of the nicest people in the world. She is. She's like much like you. If you two got together, no, somebody would solve this case. She's like an alligator on it, and you're like a piranha on it, and y'all get along just great. But she lost her leg to a blood clot. She has a prosthesis. She's doing great. I'm just telling you, PG, these are some of the unsung heroes I'm telling you about. But that was the whole plot, the whole plan, the whole ploy, the whole ruse was to get to be friends with him. And then Jinky started backing off, and it wasn't because of the SA charges. But when Candace brought that to Jinkies,
Why do you
and
think why was Jinkies backing off then?
that's why,
It was because of the SA charges?
absolutely, it blew Jinky's mind. The perpetrator was Candace Blind and listed all three of her sons. So their mother was messing with them. Okay? And
Yeah.
that's why Jinkies went off of it. She's like, I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this. Here, what I'm gonna
And
do,
what did Daisy say about that?
I don't know. I can't talk to Daisy anymore.
Oh, you don't talk to her?
No, she won't answer my phone calls.
Oh wow, how rude.
Because I'm friends with Chillbilly, and she's always been jealous of Jakey's. He's the youngest. I mean, really, I'm the oldest, and what do I care?
I mean her sister, why is she jealous of her sister? Her sister's got cancer. I mean,
Well, you know what?
why isn't she
Jinky's,
supporting why isn't she
Jinky's,
supporting her sister? I mean, if Jinky, if
Jinky's
Jinky ends up not being here anymore, then
just
Daisy's
not
gonna
talk.
regret the
Well,
way she treated her.
that's why we all got together.
Sometimes you don't know how much you regret something until a person's gone.
Yes, I know. That's why we all felt like it was time to get together. Her son, Chimney's daughter. I mean, nobody did anything untoward anybody. I promise you. That little girl got my Alice in Wonderland book. She still got it. I don't care. She read it home in the car, carriage, no, car, and she's reading as pop ups here, and
Yeah, I don't think that, I don't think that some of these people are heroes as well because, you know,
you
um
don't think they are some,
they had the knowledge. They had the knowledge of what Candace Bly was. They had,
but
they knew about the
with
substantiated
whom?
charges, and they did not do anything to protect the people out here. What I'm saying is um they did
They
not
just
come
speak
out here
up.
and expose. They did not expose Candace
Why
Bly
didn't somebody
for the
expose
evil bitch
somebody?
she was and should not be around babies.
Okay, why did
That's
not
that.
one person?
Were they afraid? Were they afraid to expose her?
Yes, they've been afraid.
Wow. Well, I'm gonna tell you what, cowards don't go to heaven.
Well, let me tell you, they threaten people. If you say a word, they'll kill you. I'm telling you, I grew up in the southern Appalachians. We had hollers and mountains and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I grew up in the woods, barefooted, running around like a little wild thing. You know, that's just who I grew up to be. A lot of
Right.
people don't think I grew up that way, but I did. I grew up in the country, honey. We ate vegetables. We have very little meat.
Yeah.
And
I don't like vegetables too good.
I already know, so hush. It feels so good to tell you to hush, Peachy. I,
Anyway, did
I'm
you want
just,
to did you want to hang out while I finish this up?
yes, I will.
All right.
If anyone needs prayer, I'll take that prayer, and I will.
Well,
that was
let's finish this up for the night.
okay.
Oh, do tell. Do
I
tell.
don't. I mean, I know that he stole a couple because he's had a couple down there that he shouldn't have had down there. And I'm not putting anybody else's name out there where he got them from. He knows exactly where he got them from.
Is Fred related to you in any way?
I don't know. He's not related to me.
Okay.
But my mom was with my older siblings' dad for certain many years.
Okay.
He got killed in a car accident. And then my mom remarried to my dad and had 3 more children. One of us has passed away, and then there's me and my brother.
Right.
Okay, my mama married a Dox. So therefore, if Fred Hill is kin to any of the Doxes, then she's kin to my half siblings, not me.
Okay. So he might be kin to your half siblings.
So you are kin
Yes.
to them.
I don't know that for sure.
You are kin to like second cousin.
I don't know that for 100%. I don't know.
Second cousin is what you remove.
Fred Hill is no righteous motherfucker. Let's just put it that way. I'm going to finish this out because it's on my heart too. Fred Hill is no righteous motherfucker. He might act like he's all innocent and this and that, but he's not. He's done some horrible things in his life, and he knows exactly what I'm talking about. If he's in the chat or whatever, he knows what he's done in his lifetime.
What did he?
And I ain't going to air out no dirty laundry on him, but yeah, he did steal a couple motorcycles because I had a dude come ask me if he had seen his motorcycles.
When did he shoot somebody?
And the only person I knew that where they could hide them at was up in that holler because they had all that land and all that. And when I went there, there was a couple of them sitting there. And yes, I did go back and tell the dude that I thought they were there. And he said, okay, that's cool. I'll take care of it. There was nothing more said. And then, like I said, he shot at me at the road. We had that beef. And I went a very, very long time without even speaking to him because I couldn't even stand to look at him. Because you was going to try to kill me when I'm in a county road that I ain't even on your property, period. That's why Jack Dox got killed, is because somebody said that he stole the backhoe down there. That was a big old shootout one year. And Bobby got shot twice in the neck and made it. His dad got shot 4 times in the chest, and he died on impact.
Oh, wow.
So therefore, there had been a shooting up in that. That's because Fred went and run his mouth and said that that dude wasn't going to give back Bobby's daddy's backhoe that he paid for, that he owed him some money and he was going to keep it. So that's why Jack Dox is dead, because Fred Hill went and run his mouth and got something started and got a man killed for nothing.
Oh, do tell.
I thought Fred shot
That's
somebody.
why Bobby lost his daddy. That's why Kelly lost her daddy.
I have a question.
It's because some people down there.
Yeah, he did. It was some man that was parked outside.
I thought Fred shot somebody.
Yeah, he did. That's true. Out on the road. And they had a child in the car. And he didn't, and this Fred Hill is very mentally disturbed, in my opinion, because why would you even do something like that knowing a child's in the car? He didn't care if he hurt that child or not. So, with him doing that, with that child in the car, shows everybody that he don't give a damn about children. He does not care about children, because most 99.9% of normal people would not do something like that. 99.9% of normal people love children and would do nothing. You would not risk hurting one any way, form, or how. But this guy didn't care. He didn't care. Matter of fact, he didn't care about his own kids, right? He lost every damn one of them.
Start up bullshit and rumors, just like this thing with Dawn telling everybody I'm a drug addict and this and that. You get rumors started and people believe that shit.
It's the truth. It's the truth. You're homeless. Something? You're homeless, man. You're rolling around in a van, living like trash. You don't even have a trailer. You're not even trailer trash. You're rolling around in a van, like
I
with
just
no
want to say it.
commodities, no
Let
bathroom, no
PG say it. I
anything.
wasn't going to say it
Um,
as nicely.
Dragging your child around like that until she finally got took, um, just like worthless, worthless. I mean, you have to be on something to be living the way you live. Come on, you're going to be pissed off because people are telling the truth. And if anybody knows the truth about you, Marlena Crawford, it would be Dawn and Candace Wells.
I
It
believe
would
that
be
shit.
Sherry
But I know
and
exactly
it'd be
what
Sherry
shit
and
happened
Nora.
and what didn't. And he knows exactly that I'm telling it. He knows I'm exactly telling the truth. Fred Hill knows I'm telling the truth.
Oh,
I
Fred,
mean, Fred,
where are you?
did Carmen not
Why
bite
don't you
you hard
get up
enough?
here?
You took
Why don't you
Jack's
get up
life.
here, Fred?
God took your mama's.
Come on, Fred.
And that was you was big titty boy, mama's boy from hell.
Come on, Fred.
That's
What?
what was. Yeah, he was a titty boy. He loved his mama. If she asked him to jump, he'd ask how high.
Who?
If
Fred?
she Fred, and Fred, if his
Don't
mama
you know
snapped
what
her
a titty
fingers,
mama is?
he was there on the double. Hey, Fred, why don't you tell him that your mama liked to kidnap little girls and put them in the basement and do witchcraft?
Oh my God.
What?
Yeah, his mama used to keep little girls in the basement in the barns and stuff and do witchcraft.
You know
I
what?
did. I did.
I play that all the time on another channel, but it's not meant by anything. It's just fun. Nobody means anything about it. But you know what? I already heard his mother practice witchcraft earlier, and it's not the same kind of witchcraft you would think. It's just something different about signs and all this kind of stuff. Am I right? I think I am.
What kind of witchcraft did she practice? What kind of witchcraft do you hear she practiced, Sherry?
I don't know. There's a lot of different practices.
Well, Fred told me that she was like, you know, a real witch. I
Yeah.
lost
Well, is she
said
dead
that
now?
said that she was a super
Is she
um
dead now?
that she was like a witch. Fred said that she would use a talking stick and put it under his dad's chair, and then his dad couldn't talk or couldn't do anything until she decided to remove, you know, that stick from him. Um, that's she's brushing. I lost Sherry. But yeah, that's Fred. Fred said that himself. That straight up came from Fred Hill's mouth. Matter of fact, I have that on recording where he is talking about, his own mother being into this stuff and doing all of this, this weird things. So it's very possible, he denied um you know he denied destroying children that she stuck in the basement. But he did say, that she was a witch. That's for sure. And would do evil stuff to his own dad. How do you know this?
It's an old story that came from a long time ago.
Oh, we got plenty of time. Tell it.
All these old heads down here used to call her witch because sometimes when the kids got on her property or the ball went over the fence or whatever, them kids disappeared for days. And then they would pop right back up because she would punish them by taking them and putting them in the basement and stuff and practicing witchcraft and tell them they had a curse on them and they would never find love and they'd go and turn them into a toad and all kinds of different stuff. Everybody was scared to go in that holler because that was Fred Hill's mom and daddy's holler. Everybody was scared to go in Ben Hill holler because of them.
They turn
Because
kids
they was
into
afraid. That's what she used to tell. That's what she used to tell the kids and all that. She turned them into a toad and all that. She kept the kids scared. I mean, and she was the scariest type creepy woman I ever seen in my life. I met that woman like 1 or 2 occasions, and I would never go back. I would never talk to her in the grocery store. I would never look at her way because they had everybody so scared. If you look her into the eyes, you will get a disease and she'll put a hex on you and you'll die and all kinds of different stuff.
Are you sure that Fred wasn't scared of his mother? I mean, are you sure that instead of, like loving his mother, are you sure he wasn't afraid of her?
I mean, if you show love by being afraid of somebody, then it is what it is, I guess.
I mean, you said, if he would jump every time, could it have been out of fear? Do you think that maybe she was doing evil stuff to her own children as well?
I mean, it's possible. Everybody talked that she was evil as hell. That's why nobody ever hardly went in that holler. That's why they think they runned all that land. I mean, some of it was theirs, but they didn't run both sides of the mountain and down that holler, not both sides, because people had bought houses and stuff in there. They used to give David Bays hell because his property was two houses over because there's a house in between them or something. And they used to give David Bays hell about being on his property and all kinds of stuff. But here's the thing on Candace. That day that she told me that she called back and I asked her if she wanted me to come. I told her before I hung up the phone, call the law. I'm on my way. I'll come help you look for her. She says, okay. So before I could even get dressed to get a ride to get my mom to come get me, because at this time I lived not with my mom. I lived on my own because I was trying to restart with my kid's dad. So that we was restarting over because we had lost everything because he went to jail. But I had called her, or she had called me back and told me, no, the law is not going to allow you to help us look for my youngin'. I can't even go help look for my youngin'. Well, she said Summer, but her youngin'. I wasn't allowed to go. They had enough volunteers.
Anyhow, let's listen to some, this is why I know that Jody Sue and Andy have a lot more at stake here than anybody else where Summer Wells' case is concerned. Because I'm gonna play some of Jody Sue's own words that show us that she definitely got a dog in that race.
It was a dream. I didn't. Fuck off, It's the difference between being one of us in there and being with that monster that long and knowing what he said in real time, which was laughing at, calling other people dumbasses, for believing Summer could be in the cemetery or in that grave. And so now he wants to be like, yeah, I think she's in the cemetery.
Now, listen real close here. Listen real close because she's talking about how, Andy's talking about how the Summer's in the grave and all of this and that. And, he's laughing because, he thinks it's a big joke to say this kind of stuff and so on and so forth. This is what she's, saying. But listen to what she says now.
Even though the son of a bitch seen exactly what the fuck we did.
The son of a bitch seen exactly what we did, she said. Did you hear that? Did you hear her say that the son of a bitch seen exactly what we did?
Telling them it.
What the hell did they do? What the hell did they do? So that means Andy knows exactly what happened to Summer. That means, he knows what happened to her. That's what Jody Sue's saying. Listen to what she says right here.
For believing Summer could be in the cemetery or in that grave. And so now he wants to be like, yeah, I think she's in the cemetery, even though the sumbitch seen exactly what the fuck we did. And so now he wants to be like, yeah, I think she's in the cemetery, even though the sumbitch seen exactly what the fuck we did. And so now he wants to be like, yeah, I think she's in the cemetery, even though the sumbitch seen exactly what the fuck we did.
There you go. There you go. What did you do, Jody Sue? What did you do?
Not my husband. My husband, I married him out of Kentucky 20 years ago.
Him to, maybe that's where Don got it. That's where Don got, that you guys supposedly thieves and everything. But he said that
For 100%. I don't know. Fred Hill is no righteous motherfucker. Let's just put it that way. I'm going to finish this out because it's on my heart too. Fred Hill is no righteous motherfucker. He might act like he's all innocent and this and that, but he's not. He's done some horrible things in his life, and he knows exactly what I'm talking about. If he's in the chat or whatever, he knows what he's done in his lifetime. And I ain't going to air out no dirty laundry on him, but yeah, he did steal a couple motorcycles because I had a dude come ask me if he had seen his motorcycles. And the only person I knew that where they could hide them at was up in that holler because they had all that land and all that. And when I went there, there was a couple of them sitting there. And yes, I did go back and tell the dude that I thought they were there. And he's
a lot of people in the chat, they're saying, what is hoodoo? Hoodoo is a form of magic that originated out of Africa. It was brought here, supposedly, allegedly brought here from the Africans and practiced. And a lot of people say that when they brought it here, they were teaching it to the children, the basically the plantation owners' children and so forth and so on like that. And it's basically consists of more of like plants and rock formations, and I mean it can run a lot, a lot like, the hoodoo kind of voodoo, it intermixes, it all comes out of that region to my understanding. I mean, Fred's mother could have been, I don't think that's what she practiced. Because I think she was into, some serious witchcraft, like, the not see, you have like the different types of this stuff, and like you got voodoo, and you got the cults, and you got the witches, just private witches, and so on and so forth. I'm not here to give a lesson on witchcraft. I'm not going to do that, but I think she was more of the private witch that worked out of witchcraft books, basically out of witchcraft books. There is some very powerful witches, actually one very powerful one, supposedly powerful, actually had a book, right? Wrote a book. And I don't know if anybody's heard, I believe it was Jane Mansfield. It was a super old actress back in the day. And this particular, I guess you would call him a warlock because, that's what they call men witches. A woman's called a witch, the man's called a warlock. But anyway, the one that wrote the book, supposedly, allegedly the history behind this particular human was him and Jane Mansfield had something, some kind of connection or something. And Jane Mansfield got a new boyfriend, and I guess they were both riding in a vehicle. And he warned her, told her not to, I guess, be in this vehicle, but she was. And it all ended up bad, right? It all ended up bad. I'm not going to get into the story. If you want to search into it, you can. But it's quite a story with, but that's I guess supposedly, his witchcraft was, what he had put on this man. She endured it too by being in the vehicle at the time the evilness took place, took hold or whatever. I guess it's how much you truly believe in that kind of stuff. I don't know. I don't know if he had anything to do with what happened or not, but that's supposedly the story behind it. And so anyway, you got Marlena Crawford confirming that Fred, is raised in and around this type of environment. And you got Fred Hill saying, yes, I was raised in this kind of environment. So, I don't know. Usually someone raised in this type of environment partakes of what's going on. They become what their parents, are, right? Like if your parents are Christian, you usually become Christian, or or just maybe it takes you time to become a Christian. If your parents are into into evil stuff, you're probably going to be into evil stuff. I don't know. It might explain a whole lot to why Fred is Fred. I don't know.
Said, okay, that's cool. I'll take care of it. There was nothing more said. And then, like I said, he shot at me at the road. We had that beef, and I went a very, very long time without even speaking to him because I couldn't even stand to look at him because you was going to try to kill me when I'm in a county road that I ain't even on your property, period. That's why Jack Dykes got killed, is because somebody said that he stole the backhoe down there. That was a big old shootout one year. And he died on impact.
Oh, wow.
So therefore there had been a shooting up in that. That's because Fred went and run his mouth and said that that dude wasn't going to give back Bobby's daddy's backhoe that he paid for, that he owed him some money and he was going to keep it. So that's why Jack Dykes is dead, because Fred Hill went and run his mouth and got something started and got a man killed for nothing.
Oh, do tell.
That's why Bobby lost his daddy. That's why Kelly lost her daddy. Is because some people down there start up bullshit and rumors, just like this thing with Dawn telling everybody I'm a drug addict and this and that. You get rumors started and people believe that shit. People believe that shit. But I know exactly what shit happened and what didn't. And he knows exactly that I'm telling it. He knows I'm exactly telling the truth. Fred Hill knows I'm telling the truth. I mean, Fred, did Carmen not bite you hard enough? You took Jack's life. God took your mama's. And you was big titty boy, mama's boy from hell.
What?
That's what it was. Yeah, he was a titty boy. He loved his mama. If she asked him to jump, he'd ask how high.
Who?
Fred. And Fred, if his mama snapped her fingers.
I find it weird that she's saying this kind of stuff because Fred's sister actually sat with Ryan Finds Truth and literally told Ryan that she went to her mother's house, and basically she told Ryan that she believed Fred and Laura had something to do, and possibly even Ziggy, because she said Ziggy was there at the time all of this stuff was taking place. But she said that, she was allegedly saying that that she felt Fred and Laura had something to do with her mother's unliving, right? That's what she said. She said they were there, supposedly turned the electric off. Supposedly they, she said that, her mother was in a position that, a very embarrassing position, and that she did not believe that her mom would have been like that. She felt that, something was very evil had taken place there. And she said it was Laura and Fred that was down there, hanging around when she came there. And I guess there was video camera or something, and it had, when the electric went out, it went out. But before it went out, she said that on the surveillance was Laura. She could see Laura inside the house. And so, she was basically hinting that they had something to do with, the unliving of her mother, Fred's mother. So, I mean, if he's such a fucking mama's boy, then why is his sister making allegations that him and Laura may have, done something evil? I don't know.
He was there on the double. Hey, Fred, why don't you tell him that your mama liked to kidnap little girls and put them in the basement and do witchcraft?
What?
Yeah, his mama used to keep little girls in the basement in the barns and stuff and do witchcraft.
How do you know this?
It's an old story that came from a long time ago.
Oh, we got plenty of time. Tell it.
All these old heads down here used to call her witch because sometimes when the kids got on her property or the ball went over the fence or whatever, them kids disappeared for days. And then they would pop right back up because she...
I noticed that her and Hunter use a term of old heads. Put a 1 in the chat if you took note that they use this term old heads. Well, did you know that that term is, that term affiliates itself with an occult, right? That particular term affiliates itself with occults. I just wanted to call that out.
She would punish them by taking them and putting them in the basement and stuff and practicing witchcraft and tell them they had a curse on them and they would never find love and they'd go and turn them into a toad and all kinds of different stuff. Everybody was scared to go in that holler because that was Fred Hill's mom and daddy's holler. Everybody was scared to go in Ben Hill holler because of them.
They turned kids into...
Afraid. That's what she used to tell. That's what she used to tell the kids and all that. She turned them into a toad and all that. she kept the kids scared. I mean, and she was the scariest type creepy woman I ever seen in my life. I met that woman like 1 or 2 occasions, and I would never go back. I would never talk to her in the grocery store. I would never look at her way because they had everybody so scared. If you look her into the eyes, you will get a disease, and she'll put a hex on you, and you'll die, and all kinds of different stuff.
Are you sure that Fred wasn't scared of his mother? I mean, are you sure that instead of, like loving his mother, are you sure he wasn't afraid of her?
I mean, if you show love by being afraid of somebody, then it is what it is, I guess.
I mean, you said, if he would jump every time, could it have been out of fear? Do you think that maybe she was doing evil stuff to her own children as well?
I mean, it's possible. Everybody talked that she was evil as hell. That's why nobody ever hardly went in that hollow. That's why they think they runned all that land. I mean, some of it was theirs, but they didn't run both sides of the mountain and down that holler, not both sides, because people had bought houses and stuff in there. They used to give David Bays hell because his property was two houses over, because there's a house in between them or something. And they used to give David Bays hell about being on his property and all kinds of stuff. But here's the thing on Candace. That day that she told me that she called back, and I asked her if she wanted me to come. I told her before I hung up the phone, call the law. I'm on my way. I'll come help you look for her. She says, okay. So before I could even get dressed to get a ride to get my mom to come get me, because at this time I lived not with my mom. I lived on my own because I was trying to restart with my kid's dad, so that we was restarting over because we had lost everything because he went to jail. But I had called her, or she had called me back and told me, no, the law is not going to allow you to help us look for my youngin'. I can't even go help look for my youngin'. Well, she said Summer, but her youngin'. I wasn't allowed to go. They had enough volunteers.
Anyhow, let's listen to some, this is why I know that Jody Sue and Andy have a lot more at stake here than anybody else where Summer Wells' case is concerned. Because I'm gonna play some of Jody Sue's own words that show us that she definitely got a dog in that race.
It was a dream. I didn't. Fuck off, It's the difference between being one of us in there and being with
old heads, the term of old heads used in the occult means is basically used for like it's basically the head of the household. It usually means the head of a household. You take out the head, the body can't survive. That's what it is in the occult world. Just saying.
that monster that long and knowing what he said in real time, which was laughing at, calling other people dumbasses, for believing Summer could be in the cemetery or in that grave. And so now he wants to be like, yeah, I think she's in the cemetery.
Now, listen real close here. Listen real close, because she's talking about how, Andy's talking about how the Summer's in the grave and all of this and that. And, he's laughing because, he thinks it's a big joke to say this kind of stuff and so on and so forth. This is what she's, saying. But listen to what she says now.
Even though the sumbitch seen exactly what the fuck we did.
The son of a bitch seen exactly what we did, she said. Did you hear that? Did you hear her say that the son of a bitch seen exactly what we did?
Telling on it.
What
Yeah.
the hell did they do? What the hell did they do? So that means Andy knows exactly what happened to Summer. That means, he knows what happened to her. That's what Jody Sue's saying. Listen to what she says right here.
For believing Summer to be in the cemetery or in that grave. And so now he wants to be like, yeah, I think she's in the cemetery, even though the sumbitch seen exactly what the fuck we did. And so now he wants to be like, yeah, I think she's in the cemetery, even though the sumbitch seen exactly what the fuck we did. And so
She said, seen exactly what the fuck we did. Jody Sue is trying to deter people from the cemetery because she knows if Summer is found over there, then her scream is going to implicate her in her lion ass scream. It's going to implicate her into what happened, which is going to make her an accomplice. It's going to make her an accomplice in a missing child's case who was unlived and put into a cemetery. She's probably going to do some time in prison. You cannot lie and to law enforcement and cause obstruction in a case like that. And she absolutely did obstruct the case by talking about that, and she even did it on the news too. She didn't only tell law enforcement; she mother freaking told the news. So her ass is going to get in a lot of trouble for that. And so she don't want Summer found. But I do believe that Andy and them, did see exactly, I think Andy did see exactly, what they had done. Absolutely. No doubt in my mind that he didn't see, exactly what they had done. Because he was right there seeing and hearing it all. That's why him and Dom both was hiding at work on June 15th, 2021, while everything was going down and everything was being, carried out the way that they had planned it. I think when she says Andy seen exactly what they done, I think she means, the way that they had prepped it and put it together and constructed it and then, carried it out. He was right there, understanding every second of everything. And I believe that too. When you deal with these people like Jody Sue, these are uneducated human beings, and you got to lower yourself to their, mentality level and understand, their kind of lingo when they're talking. She's not talking about the initial June the 15th going into Kingsport in order to pick up Hunter and carry out the first part of it. She's not talking about the little video coming into Ben Hill Road to carry out the second part of it. She's talking about the initial planning of it all and everything that they had. He was there. He understood it all. of what they were doing. And she slipped up, but then, you know, she wanted to eliminate the graveyard, which that's exactly where summer is, because all these roaches are crawling out every time somebody gets up there. You know, when they were stocking us up at the cemetery, those roaches crawled out. Andy was coming in here. Fred was talking to me. Marlena Cropper's hitting me up for, you know, on Chad's behalf. Don and Candace was out, you know, doing what they're doing now. You know, so that cemetery would not intimidate them if Summer was not there. Jody Sue knows that. And she's trying to keep people away because, see, when you go in and you look into that grave and you find Summer, these motherfuckers are all going to prison. Every damn one of them. Because as soon as they arrest Candace, Candace is going to tell about Donald. And, you know, and Don's going to go in there and he's going to flip everybody else. They're going to do everything they can to get their sentence lowered. They're going to be in there making deals. Everybody knows it. And they're going to, and I'm going to tell you, it's going to be honest with you, if Summer's found over there in that cemetery, it would not shock me one bit if, you know, Don and Candace, you know, kind of like Jeffrey Epstein, somehow just ended up not alive anymore. You know what I'm saying? That wouldn't shock me. Because there's people that don't want Don and Candace talking. That's true.
So now he wants to be like, yeah, I think she's in the cemetery, even though the sumbitch seen exactly what the fuck we did.
There you go. There you go. What did you do, Jody Sue? What did you do? And why would you not let a 5-year-old little girl be found? Why would you not let an innocent child be found and laid to rest? Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. These are some evil people up there. You're dealing with some real evilness. Real evilness. She said, he knows exactly what the fuck we did. So there's we. We means more than one.
Yep.
We means more than one.
Unless it's her and that damn mouth in her pocket.
Absolutely. Hey, Arctic, I appreciate that, girlfriend. God bless. Absolutely. Absolutely, girl. I'm going to tell you, Jody Sue, you know, Jody Sue, she's a tell-all. She's a tell-all. You know, and then she says this.
I think that Stacy Slade was actually the fake Fed. I think that there's a person that somebody stole her identity. Exactly. Because there's a real woman by that name in that real area that died. And that's how you can call it funeral home. And see, I had Stacy Slade. I had a name, and there was actually a memorial video up by her family on YouTube. And she died not long before summer passed.
And she died not long before summer passed. She died not long before summer passed. She knows Summer is no longer alive. She knows exactly what happened to Summer, and she lied about that scream. And I know she lied about that scream because Candace Wells personally asked her to move that screen from 442, 440, whatever, to 540 something in order for it to fit the timeline. Because I told Donald he's fucking stupid for using that screen that would have put Summer in the arms of Candace and Grandis and not nowhere else. And he just was sounding dumb, saying, "Oh, my neighbor heard a scream." I don't give a fuck what your neighbor heard, her animalistic scream, because at 440 something, Summer would have been planting flowers. She would have been washing her hands. She'd have been getting candy. Summer wouldn't even been going back in the house until around 50, around 5:55. She wouldn't even have been going in the house at 5:40 something. Because she didn't even supposedly come up missing until around 6 o'clock, because Candace called Dawn at 6:09 and had been looking for her for, like 10, 15 minutes. It was only a 10 to 15 minute span. So the animalistic scream would have barely fit into the timeline, even at 5:40 something. It would have been more believable. It would have been more believable at that time. But at 4 something, hell no. Grandis didn't even get up from her fucking nap till supposedly almost 4:30. And that's when Candace was taking that ass and heading down to meet up with Chad Arnold. Whoa! She died not long before Summer passed. Right? Well, Don Wells says, "We'll see her in the resurrection." And Candace says, "I've got to get my boys. I got to focus on my boys. I don't like to say this, but I got to set Summer to the side and focus on my boys because they're still here. They're still alive, right? And I'll always have Summer." That's what Candace said, that she needs to set Summer aside. The one that needs her the most, the one that's missing, she got to set her aside and focus on the boys because they are still alive and they're still here. And Summer will always be with her. So she's letting you know Summer is past as well. Jody Sue's letting you know the Summer's past. Don Wells is from day one let people know Summer has passed. I mean, there's no way to. Fred Hill let us know Summer had passed. Allison let us know Summer was passed. Graham Bunn let us know Summer is passed. They all fucking knew. Because they're all one big group of fucking weirdos mixed up in some serious evil shit. This baby is still with us because they've all let us know that she's not. Even Andy Bernard supposedly was the last one to see Summer's online body, right?
She said he knew what we fucking did.
Yep.
Wasn't it? What we just fucking did. He knows what we fucking just did.
She died not long before Summer passed.
That's what
and she died long before before Summer passed.
I think she's in the cemetery. Even though the sumbitch seen exactly what the fuck we did.
What the fuck we did.
There you go. She
just committed to that shit.
Absolutely. Yes. Very much so. Right here.
Alright. Well, that's good. Y'all go over there and ask why exactly it is he was selling drugs to the children at 110. Why he was potentially causing little girls over there to be sedated and to be touched with the shit he was selling them over there. Go ask. Because I have fucking questions. not standing in front of him anymore. Yeah, and I found about a few days before all the shit went down. I'm not kidding, dude. And I got the fucking receipts on it. And I'm sure law enforcement does as well. He had known Summer was also being abused, and he hid it from everybody, including me. And he was very much selling drugs.
You're a liar, Jody Sue. You said, I'm not going to be standing in front of him no more. You're not going to stand in front of him no more. That means you fucking knew. You had full knowledge of what was going on.
To the children at 110 and to Candace for those children. Now, what all that was, I don't know, but I do know it was happening. And I very much think it plays a role in what
Wait a minute, Miss PD, back it up. She said, I knew what was happening.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And then before, when she started this conversation, she said, I don't know anything about it until a few days before she went missing. So did you know about it or did you not know about it, Jody Sue?
She did know about it.
You probably already knew about it. It all bears the truth.
Well, she tells you at the beginning, listen to this.
Well, that's good. Y'all go over there and ask why exactly it is he was selling drugs to the children at 110. Why he was potentially causing little girls over there to be sedated and to be touched with the shit he was selling them over there. Go ask. Because I have fucking questions. Not standing in front of him anymore.
I'm not standing in front of him anymore.
That means she was doing it to protect him.
She was keeping it shut up. And she decided to tell because the money wasn't coming up to her no more. It was going to his new wife. So she's not going to protect him now. She hopes he goes to prison. No, Summer passed away on June 15, 2021. She passed away, this is my opinion, she passed away at the swimming hole. Grandis used her knee as an excuse to go into Kingsport to pick up Hunter because they planned on Hunter, taking Hunter to the swimming hole and destroying Summer silently. The only way that you ain't going to hear a scream is underwater. That's why they went to the swimming hole and did it, because you can't hear somebody scream underwater. It's a silent death. They put her back in the vehicle. They took her to Allison's house where they took her in, cleaned her up, dressed her, took her back out and propped her up in the back seat of Grandis's vehicle. And that's why Allison's camera system disappeared on June 15th, is because Summer got packed into her house and she wasn't about to be incriminated by being a part of what happened there. They used her son to destroy that little girl, and she was going to protect her son because she felt her son shouldn't pay the price for Don and Candace's evilness and what they did to cause their daughter to have to be destroyed like that. They went back into Ben Hill Road, took that little video so they could, claim abduction. But really, they went down to Fred's place where Cotton Simpson said he saw Summer in that box. And they met up with Chad Arnold, and Chad, that open grave across the road is where they took her. And I'm going to tell you, the reason that we pretty much know that she's in Morrison Cemetery is because there is video surveillance in other areas not far from. If you took note, law enforcement stayed in that particular area right there, focused on Ben Hill Road. and that little bit of Beach Creek area right there. You know, if you took note, they were heading down Ben Hill Road towards Fred Hill's house to the end of it, and they were heading back out into the Beach Creek area, right there in that vicinity, because they checked video surveillance from nearby, very nearby camera systems, and they did not see Chad Arnold's, nor did they see Candace's vehicle leaving out of that area. So they knew she's got to be somewhere right there, underground somewhere. And, you know, they weren't looking above ground. They were looking below ground. They was looking for disturbances in the ground. That's what they were looking for, a grave. That's what they were looking for. And little did they know, they put her in a grave all right across the fucking street that was already open and somebody else was going down into. Perfect crime if Andy wouldn't have told. Right? Just saying. Right? She can't have him. Let's put him in jail. She was a scorned ass bitch, and she told the truth up on this guy, if you ask me. That's my opinion.
That's the thing that I said the other night in the chat or in the live or the night before, that we shut her up. You knew about it. At the end of that
Summer did not make it. Little Summer did not make it out of that swimming hole. Donald, Candace, everybody knows that Summer was not alive after going into that swimming hole. She was not alive. That child was unalived. And on those milk jugs, she was unalived when Hunter packed her out of the swimming hole. That's my opinion. I will keep it.
Conversation right there, she said she knew about it.
Absolutely.
And I know that she went up on that hill more than I ever seen him up on that hill. So if anybody was taking Candace anything to sedate them kids, she was taking them.
Oh, you got that right, Marlena Crawford. You got that right. You knew all about it because you was up there too. You knew all about it because your brother-in-law, Chad Arnold, was the one that met up with Candace and took her across the road to do the dirty deed. I'm going to tell you, they're worried about that grave site. They're worried about it. They would not be worried about it if Summer wasn't there. These motherfuckers would be laughing. They would be kicked back, continuing to relax and do what they fucking do best. Party. These people like to party. They got a bunch of people to party with. They don't want to be out here in this YouTube community. Have you seen them out here before Ernie went running down there to that grave? Have you seen them? You seen them all rush out on me and my friend. You seen them all rush out here when we was down at the cemetery, they all came out here. They all come out here trying to threaten me up, trying to do stuff, trying to say stuff. Fred Hill was really, him and Ziggy was really poking their fucking noses into it. Yes, they were. I know that for a fact. And I'm going to tell you something. How much did you see them out here between that time and now? You ain't seen them motherfuckers crawling around out here between the time they came rushing out before and they've come rushing out now. When they came rushing out on us stalking us at the cemetery and rushing out on us. And they seen that, it didn't go nowhere. They relaxed again. They went back into their holes and continued to do what they do best, illegal substances. And as soon as Ernie picks this up and runs into the cemetery and gets on it, they all crawl back out like roaches. If Summer wasn't there, they wouldn't be crawling out like that. Just saying. Summer has to be there because we're ruffling their fucking feathers every time we get near that gravesite. And we all know it. It's common sense. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to see what's going on.
Candace was sending Josie down to the bottom of the hill to pick up whatever they needed to pick up.
Absolutely.
I know.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. I believe Candace was sending Josie down there to get stuff. Marlena knows that those kids were mules, that they were being used, used to pack stuff for them little girls to be sedated. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, she's showing you, when you're talking about Jody Sue and her believing all the focus is on Jody Sue, allowed her to open up and expose herself to a lot of, more to what she knew herself about everything. That's what happens when you take a person with her education and focus it on somebody else. Then you learn a whole lot more about what the fuck they know too. It's just, it's old tricks. It's old tricks that, people play on other humans in order to get information. There's a lot of different techniques that can be used to get answers. Law enforcement is very good. Very good. I say the feds are the best, but law enforcement, they use these techniques as well. They'll jump on somebody else in order to get the person, like they'll jump on the person's husband, or they'll jump on the brother, or they'll jump on one of their kids in order to get that person talking more. You'd be surprised at the techniques that can be used.
She knew. She's the helping him. She knew. Or has she bashed me? Has she said anything about me?
Who?
Candace.
Hey, Deputy Sheriff. I appreciate that. God bless and much love. Good to see you. Oh, Candace is, man, Lord have mercy. She talks
because I kind of didn't watch them through the years. I have kind of just like stayed in the shadows, like I said, and stayed away from the topics because, I didn't really want anybody to know who I was.
Candace said, this is what Candace told me, that you brought your kid up there. Her and Dawn told me that you brought your kid up there and was dropping your kid off all the damn time. And that, and that you wasn't taking care of it. And they said they took it to your mother, not to you. Candace said that they took your child to your mother and gave it to your mother because you were a worthless human being. They couldn't take care of your child. That's what she was telling me.
Well, I could also say that bitch is wrong. She never took my youngin' to my mama because my mama didn't live where she picked us up at. My mama lived all the way in Ducktown at that time, and I lived in Baylorton. I lived at the bottom of the creek almost that you can go down and go through Van Hill and across into Baylorton. I lived off of Old Baylorton Highway. My mama lived in Ducktown in Limestone, so she didn't never take my kid to my mama. They actually thought there's.
Did you notice she mentioned Van Hill? Did you notice she mentioned Van Hill?
Up under the bus because they wouldn't have blamed everybody else.
Well, Candace was, kind of, telling people that, she don't trust nobody. She don't trust, Andy. She don't trust Dodie Sue. She don't trust Allison. She don't trust, all these different Fred Hill. She don't trust any of these people, Laura's. She didn't trust
me either.
She didn't trust you, your brothers, or your boyfriend. She didn't trust all. And then she said, and she didn't trust Donald. But then, but the only reason she put Don Wells, remember that, you guys? Put a one in the chat if you remember. She was even mentioned Donald. She didn't trust when he was in jail because she was wanting to screw around with Benny Keys and I can't Ernie Shell. Yeah, she's wanting to screw around with Benny Keys and Ernie Shell. Matter of fact, she got all dranked up and everything one night and came out. Did you see her?
She tried to even hit on my kid's dad and tried to flirt and get him to fuck her. Okay.
What?
Yeah, she tried so many times it was unreal.
There we go. I guess Candace tries to get with anything and everything she can, right? Anything and everything she can. Unbelievable. Whoa. Yeah. She had an ass like that. She had one of them asses that always wanted somebody else's man. That's for sure. Yeah. It must make her feel better. She's got some kind of demon in her and makes her feel better, about herself.
Like Billy Ben. He had a wife and a kid, and he was going to fucking her mama.
You also said Fred Hill shot at you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
He shot at me. He shot on me one night because he was drunk or messed up, and we was riding 4-wheelers, and he shot at me then.
Why would he do that?
I have no idea.
You guys were riding the 4-wheelers up at 110 Ben Hill Road?
Yeah, we were riding up to, there's a teepee up right at the back of the hill.
Right.
It's way back in there.
And that road dead ends.
Yeah, and it goes up to the teepee at the back of it, and there's a waterfall up there.
I didn't see nothing like that.
It's way up in there.
Oh, okay.
The only way you can get to it is if you ride a 4-wheeler up in there.
Okay.
Or horses.
Right. Yeah. The Light brothers and those people there, they're the ones with the horses and stuff that go up inside of those mountains and everything. I wanted to ask you. You left. I know that you left your daughter unattended with Candace and Don Wells because they told me you did. They told me that their daughter was staying up there with them. Your daughter was staying up there with them for a few days before she was picked up. Is that
she wasn't picked up? Grandma brought her home on a Friday afternoon, and she was supposed to stay until Monday.
Right. And how long had she been up there? How long?
She was up there from Wednesday night to Friday morning.
And is that the only time that you have?
That was the only time I ever let her go up there, period, by herself whatsoever.
That's not true, because Don and Candace both said that Marlena Crawford had left her daughter up there for like weeks one time. For weeks, not a few days, for weeks. And I guess around the second, third week, they had took the kid to her mom's house and dropped it off. And oh, Don knows where her mother lives, because he was stalking that place pretty damn good, according to Fred Hill and some other people. Well, I'm going to educate you on the Wells, on Don Candace Wells, and Don's ex-wife Pam Wells, and a whole lot of other things you might not know. I'm sure they don't want you to know. For one, in Arkansas, well, let's start in Utah. Don and Pam Wells got together, and up in Utah, they tried to sell Don Wells tried to sell their son to the drug man, according to his sister Mary. Now, and they tried to also sell their daughter. I don't know if you was aware of that.
I mean, it all makes sense because Donnie, how do I say this? Donnie, my daughter came home that day because Grandma brought her home. And she came home and told me that they were packing a bag for her to go away. And it was only her going, not the boys, that her and Daddy was taking a trip. That's what they told my young'un.
Right.
Okay, so everybody thinks that she's dead or whatever. My opinion is they took her to the cartel because he owed them some money and they came and got her.
Now here's what I want to ask. These mother freaking scrubs are not affiliated with no cartels. They are not affiliated with no Mexican mafias. They are not affiliated with anything to do with anybody that deals in heavy loads. They're too fucking scumbucket to be affiliated with any of that. And I know that for a fact. I know that. I was raised in the fucking hood. And I know how it levels down. I know how, I know exactly how it hits the border. I know how it's, the mules pack it in, break it down, and then start distributing. And these motherfuckers are on the bottom totem pole of all that shit. So they ain't no fucking cartels or any of this shit affiliated with these scrubs. Hell no. That's bullshit. They're what they call the fucking penny pinchers of the dealers. They call your mother to pick her up.
No, her mama brought her to my house.
Okay, so Candace brought her.
No, Candace's grandmother.
Okay, Grandma. Grandis.
Grandma. Yeah, Grandis.
She brought your daughter to your house.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, so your mother didn't go pick up your daughter.
Nope.
Okay, when you were saying Grandma, I thought you was talking about your mom went and picked up your daughter. Okay, so it was Grandis that brought your daughter, which was supposed to stay there until Sunday. Grandis brings your daughter to your home, and your daughter, when she arrives home with you, she tells you that Summer's got a bag packed and she's going away with Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now here's something I want to ask you. Did your daughter show any signs of acting different or anything like that? I mean, out of the norm for a few days after that particular episode? Or did she act scared? Did she act intimidated? Did she act withdrawal or any? Did you see any signs of anything in your daughter that was different than she was before she went there?
That I can tell, no.
Okay.
But see, here's what the deal is. At that time, also, right after that, right after that. Well, right before that, somebody accused me and my sister-in-law of touching my girls, and I didn't. So that kind of makes sense where that came from.
She said touching my girls. She's only got a girl. Wouldn't it be touching her girl? She said, my girls. Where the hell is another child at? Did you guys catch that? She said, my girls. That should have been more self-explanatory there, right? She should have explained where the hell did girls come in? Because she's only got one child. Single child.
So that means that one of them down there on that goddamn sorry ass hill called and said that I was doing something because DCS was sent to my house and they had to take her and get her checked and she wasn't never messed with. And that's the only reason DCS cleared me and my sister-in-law.
And no, you didn't get cleared. You gave your child to your sister to avoid prosecution, just like Don and Candace gave the boys to the state to avoid prosecution. That's what the fuck happened right there. But you know what? We're going to pick this back up tomorrow because we've been here 3 hours, you guys, or more. So I'm going to let everybody get some rest. PG's got to get some rest. Tomorrow is a work day. Unlike Marlena Crawford and her 40 fucking thieves, we got to work for a living, right? We got to work, pay them fucking taxes. So PG's got to get out of here, got to get some sleep because I got to rise and shine early, right? And hopefully, little man sleeps all night. But if he doesn't, that means I got to get up and take care of little man as well. So my night can be interrupted if he decides he wants to get up and get big-eyed in the middle of the night, right? So anyway, PG's going to get out of here, and I don't ever leave without asking, please keep those prayers going up for Summer, Moon, Utah Wells. Keep them going up for this little girl. I truly believe it's our prayers. I truly believe it's our prayers that has got God to give us the answers to this case this far. I think, I think God has gave us the knowledge to understand exactly what happened on a timeline that even law enforcement couldn't figure out. And I think he's going to finish giving us the answers to where Summer is. Because I believe she's right across the road in that gravesite. And if we can get someone to check it, I think we found Summer. That's my opinion. I will keep it. But you know what? I think we have been right so far. And I think we're right now. And that's the truth. Now I know you got a lot of people. One of them being hell, I don't know what the fuck her name is. She comes on in the mornings. She walks a dog. Somebody walks the dog. I don't know. But I don't pay attention to stuff like that. I really don't pay attention to other creators, to be honest with you, that much. I like JLR. I do. I watch him. And I watch Justin. There's a few of them I do watch. Smalley. There's a few of them that, I like and I do pay attention to. But most of them I don't. And because I don't care. I'm out here for summer. I'm not out here for anything else. So I don't, I don't go around. When like a lot of people, when I go listening to them, I'm only going to fucking hear what I'm saying anyway. I'm just going to hear what I'm saying. So, but they, they don't want to think that Summer's over there in that grave. Well, you fucking don't know she ain't either. You can say, I don't think she is, but you don't know that. And that grave needs to be checked. Right? Because these people, I'm going to tell you, that would have been brilliant. Don Wells, the way Don Wells conducted himself after Summer went missing, the way he conducted himself, I knew she was in a hell of a good hiding place because he was patting himself on the back. He, like he had no worries of Summer ever going to be found. Well, that's the one place she wouldn't have ever been found if Jody, Sue, and Andy, especially Andy, especially Andy, wouldn't have talked. If he wouldn't have talked, she would never have been found. And that's the truth. But I think she's there. I really do. And I think if people want to find her, that's where she is. No shit. And it's because of the way Don Wells conducted himself, the way he looked past. A news reporter went up there and he looked right past that news reporter straight over to that cemetery. Candace comes out of that house ever since Summer passed away. When she comes out of that house, she points that camera straight to that cemetery. These motherfuckers all got their eyes on that cemetery. That's got to be where that kid is. And if you want to find her, that's where you will. Just saying. I think God's let us completely figure this case out. And we're in the last step of it. And I hope to God that law enforcement listens or somebody listens enough to get that little girl out of there. That's, that's my feelings. That's how I feel. And it's kind of stressful. It's kind of stressful, It's kind of stressful knowing this kind of stuff. And you can't get done what needs to be done. That's the hard part. But I'm going to wait it out. I'm waiting it out. I'm a patient person. I think I was a lot more patient before I ever came to YouTube, but I'm losing some of my patience here lately, you guys. But I'm going to stay patient. I'm going to keep praying. I'm going to keep praying too. I'm going to keep praying that some fucking body does what it takes to get that grave looked into so Summer can be found. Because I truly believe she's there. I have, everything's pointing to that graveyard. Everything's pointing to that graveyard, to Timothy Morrison's grave, the open grave that was there June 15th, 2021. It's all pointing over there. So I hope it gets looked into. I'm doing everything I can. I'm not giving up. But I'm going to have to if something ain't done, soon. I'm going to try to hang. I'm going to try to hang in here until the first of the year. I'm going to try my best to hang in here. I want to bring summer into 2027. I want her to be found before then. But if this new sheriff comes in and this grave still ain't going to get looked into and nobody's going to do nothing to find her, then there's nothing else we can do. There's nothing else we can do. We've done all we can, we've done all we can. And I hope it ain't all in vain. I hope it ain't all in vain. I really do. At that point, I'm just going to have to tell myself that, that this little girl's with God. She's already home. It's sad that we couldn't get law enforcement and the people to do what needs to be done for her. And I guess that, that'll be her eternal resting place, It'll be her resting place as well as Timothy Morrison's. At least she ain't alone. At least she isn't by herself. She's got somebody with her. I don't know the man. Probably he was a good person. Probably was a very good person. I hope so. Especially if they don't get Summer out of there. But it is what it is. And we're just going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see. It'll be hard. It'll be hard to have to, to walk off from, it's going to be hard to walk away from this. Knowing that she could have been found and wasn't. But I don't know. We just got to keep pushing, you guys. We got to keep pushing and we got to keep praying. So before you go to bed tonight, please bow your head and say a prayer for this little girl because she needs it. She really needs it. Pray for Summer. If you don't do nothing else, pray for Summer. Pray for her in the name of Jesus Christ. Because she deserves better than this. Summer deserves better than this. God knows that. And her brothers, they deserve better too. Those children were put through hell. They were put through hell. And they deserved a lot better. But anyway, pray for the rest of the missing children too. So many still haven't been found. Michael Vaughn, Sebastian Rogers, Jack and Lily, Genesis, Jahaven, Nancy Guthrie. She's older, but she ain't been found either. So many people need our prayers. Family that loved them needs our prayers too. And people right here in this chat tonight, a lot of them need them prayers as well. So when you say your prayers, say them for everybody, not somebody, but everybody. And let God know that you love everybody. And remember, God loves you. Good night, everybody. God bless and much love.